plan. And unless we can get rid of all of Hamas in one go, just think that the hostages need to be top priority, and then we need to stop all of our soldiers from dying.
Israel's security cabinet approved the plan despite warnings from military commanders that Israel's fighting forces are already overstretched.
Hamas calls Israel's plan a, quote, new war crime and warns it will cost it dearly. This is President Trump's deadline for Russia to reach a ceasefire agreement with Ukraine, and he ceded some ground on an in-person meeting. A reporter asked,
does Putin have to meet with Zelensky in order and before you and Putin have to meet? Or
No.
So far, there's no word on a deal or of any consequences. They're dealing with another explosive wildfire in Southern California. This time, thousands of people have been forced to leave their homes north of Los Angeles. This man in Castaic.
It's 20 feet tall, probably. Yeah, there's so much dry brush out there that it's a mess, and the fire was moving so fast. It was in a matter of an hour. I mean, it probably moved 5 or 10 miles.
Fire officials blame the spread on the heat and high winds. It's now burned almost 5,000 acres. Republicans in Texas turning up the heat on Democrats who face a 1 p.m. deadline to avoid arrest after they fled the state to block passage of the president's new congressional voting map.
Democratic State Rep James Talrico says they're still united despite the GOP rhetoric.
Greg Abbott has threatened to remove us from office. Trump has threatened to send in the FBI. Ken Paxton posted a tweet to his followers asking them to, quote, hunt us down. And then there was a bomb threat.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker said there's no way the Texas Democrats will be arrested. Chris Fox for CBS News, Austin.
Panic on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship after an acrylic glass panel broke off a water slide on the Icon of the Seas, sending water gushing in through a gaping hole while guests were riding down.
No more slide. Stop the slide.
Cruise Line says one man is in stable condition after he was treated for injuries. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com.
At 6:03, mostly clear, 73 degrees downtown at the Gateway Arch. Today is Friday, August 8th. Good morning. I'm Scott Jagow.
And I'm Megan Lynch. The news is sponsored by St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station. A helicopter crashed on the Mississippi River yesterday.
2 people are dead after a helicopter caught a power line over the Mississippi River that they were working on, falling and crashing into a barge below. Deputy Fire Chief Matthew Fisher with the Alton Fire Department says it took them a lot of time to make their way to the barge because it is just south of the Melvin Price Lock and Dam.
We're unable to access it by land, so we had to use our watercraft. It takes time to go through the lock and dam to get through. And by the time we got down there, the tugboat was able to assist us with some water and extinguish the fire.
The deceased are the 2 individuals who were occupying the helicopter. Officials say they are not aware of any injuries to anyone on the barge, and the barge is not leaking anything into the Mississippi River either. Along the banks of the Mississippi, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Eyewitness Adam Briggs says he called 911 right away when he realized what had happened.
It was a long, played-out scene. It took quite some time to get anyone there, so it was difficult to watch.
Briggs was fishing at the time. He tells KMOX he saw the chopper make trips back and forth across the river doing maintenance on the high-tension power transmission lines. At one point, he says a worker was on the side of the helicopter attempting to place an aerial marker ball. Briggs says he looked down, heard an explosion, and saw the helicopter fall.
I'm Maria Kina. A tragic day for contractors working for Ameren on power lines along the Mississippi River in West Alton. The 2 occupants died in the chopper after it crashed into a barge. While the exact cause is not known, Ameren released a statement to KMOX that reads in part, an Ameren contractor and its subcontractor were repairing tower lighting and marker balls in Madison County, Illinois. Unquote. The crash happened on the Missouri side of the river.
With his final term in the state Senate coming to a close, State Senator Brian Williams is announcing his future political plans.
Williams is going to run for St. Louis County Executive on the Democratic ticket, presumably to challenge incumbent Sam Page. Williams shares with KMOX his priorities for that office.
Public safety is a primary one, building our workforce for tomorrow, creating opportunities for government to work efficiently, and most importantly, show a level of leadership where people trust me and know that we can all work together to achieve goals.
Asked about Page's recent indictment, Williams says he has no opinion and is confident the process will work itself out. The primary election is about a year from now.
I'm Michael Calhoun with reaction from KMOX Democratic political analyst Michael Kelly. He says Page could be vulnerable.
Listen, Mike, at the end of the day, an incumbent is a really hard animal to tackle when you're taking on an incumbent. So this is going to be an interesting race and probably even more interesting to watch because the incumbent is potentially wounded by the indictments that have come out of Jefferson City.
And he notes Page does not have the support a person in his position usually would.
The county council is controlled by the Democrats, yet I'm not sure that the Democrats are united behind the county executive's position. That's a real problem, and that's a tough story for all sides of that battle to deal with.
Kelly says it'll come down to Page's fundraising and Williams' coalition building.
If you're shopping for health insurance next year, brace yourself. Rates could be going up. The Missouri Department of Commerce and Insurance reviewing proposed plans and premiums for 2026. State Insurance Director Angie Nelson tells Missouri Net the news isn't great.
For the individual market, average premiums are going to range between $579 and $898. And again, that's what we call per member per month average premium.
For small businesses, monthly premiums could range from about $716 to $840 per employee. Public comments are open through September 2nd at insurance.mo.gov with final rates due by October 31st.
Missouri's voter rolls are being purged of people not eligible to vote. Secretary of State Denny Hoskins tells MissouriNet that more than 200,000 names have been removed so far this year.
That also includes some non-citizens that unfortunately are registered to vote here in the state of Missouri, and we've been working with our counterparts, whether it's local election authorities or ICE, to make sure that they are taken off the voter rolls as well.
Hoskins says they discovered earlier this year that an illegal immigrant cast a ballot in Missouri's general election last November, and that his office has been working with ICE to have that person deported. Meanwhile, more than 18,000 people who've died have also been removed from Missouri's voter rolls since the start of the year.
It's 8:08. We'll get a check of traffic and weather in 2 minutes.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Paid for by Action Matters. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Attention parents of children who have used the gaming platform known as Roblox. If your child was a victim of sexual abuse or harm of any kind while using the Roblox platform, you may be entitled to compensation. Roblox is facing multiple high-profile lawsuits, including an ongoing class action, alleging it failed to protect users from foreseeable dangers that led to the grooming, exploitation, and sexual abuse of minors on the platform. Claims allege Roblox turned a blind eye to predators, unsafe games, and deceptive monetization practices that targeted children. Victims were contacted through in-game chats and coerced into private conversations on third-party apps. If you believe your child may have been a victim of grooming, sexual abuse, or harm of any kind while using the Roblox platform, you may be entitled to a cash settlement. Text our helpline now to find out if you have a viable compensation claim against Roblox. Text GONE to 323232. That's GONE to 323232. GONE to 323232.
If something happens to you, what happens to your family? Will they struggle financially? Will they be able to afford the home you built together? With Ethos, you can get life insurance coverage in minutes. Get up to $2 million in coverage for as little as $2 a day. All online with no medical exam. Just answer a few health questions. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life. Rates may vary. Billed monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It is 6:10, traffic and weather together. Let's start with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We have an incident right now, Scott, on eastbound 44. I assume it's a crash because I heard the EMS call go out. They just didn't specify. But eastbound 44 at Hampton, Only the 2 right lanes are getting by. But again, it's very light traffic this Friday morning, so I'm really not seeing any more than just a brief slowdown as you roll on past the scene. So there's no backup at all at this point in time. So that's good news. Eastbound 44 at Hampton. That's the only incident we have. Like I said, though, traffic's light enough on a Friday morning, at least this time of day, that it's not posing any problem for you at that point. And we don't have any other problems on the interstates, even the construction zones on 55 at McNutt and Bayless, 270 at Ladue, 64 between Kay and Winghaven. Everything is cruising along, and I will keep tabs on westbound 64 at Route 4. They were supposed to have that emergency repair work wrapped up yesterday afternoon. I never got the final all clear from IDOT, so we'll see if we see any delays this morning, but I'm not anticipating anything of any consequence there. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, the heat wave continues through the weekend and into Monday. The AccuWeather real field temperature will be at or over 100 through Monday. Sunny, hot, and humid today, the high 96. Moonlit and muggy tonight, those 76. Hot and humid tomorrow with sunshine and a high of 95. For Sunday, partly sunny, hot, and humid, high 94. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
And it looks like we've got sunny skies, or actually the sun is coming up. 74 degrees in St. Louis, 72 in St. Peters, and 76 degrees in Florissant. The weather sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Cardinals coming up with the Cubs this weekend at Busch Stadium. I'll tell you about that and more coming up in sports.
It is 6:12. Despite what you've heard about FEMA facing challenges, Mayor Kara Spencer says the Federal Disaster Agency has been effective once it got on the ground after the May tornado.
The folks, the actual FEMA representatives here on the ground with us have truly been phenomenal partners, very, very communicative with us on an ongoing basis.
FEMA is extending the application deadline for assistance with tornado damage that isn't covered by insurance, as well as medical and other expenses. That deadline is now August 26th.
A woman featured in the HBO series Chimp Crazy is heading to federal prison for hiding a chimpanzee and lying about it to a judge. Tanya Haddix received a 46-month sentence yesterday for perjury and obstruction of justice after claiming the chimp Tonka had died. Tonka has since been rescued by PETA and U.S. Marshals, while Haddix is scheduled to be back in court on August 12th on separate charges.
St. Louis police are looking for the owner of 3 dogs that attacked a man walking in Forest Park. The victim says the owner was playing with his dogs off-leash Wednesday night when they ran up and bit him in the legs and arm. According to investigators, after the attack, the dog's owner packed them up in the car and drove off.
A 16-year-old who allegedly carjacked a Lyft driver at Carter and North Newstead and was turned over to his parents is now in the juvenile court's custody because within hours of being released, police say that teen carjacked another rideshare driver. St. Louis City Police spokesman Mitch McCoy.
They are holding the 16-year-old on tampering, resisting arrest, and behavior injurious charges. District officers, along with our intelligence division, is going to be working to investigate both of these carjacking incidents from last night and this morning, and we will work to towards additional charges in the future.
There were 3 other suspects who ran from yesterday morning's carjacking. McCoy says police already have an idea of who they're looking for.
With school starting again soon, students in Missouri will have to leave phones in their book bags.
Senate Bill 68, signed by Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe, bans the use of cell phones during school hours, including lunchtime. Bill sponsor State Senator Mike Henderson.
Cape Central did this over a year ago, and I talked to their superintendent. He said, "It's great. My cafeteria is loud." I said, "Was that good?" And he said, "Yeah, that's a good thing." He said, "The kids are actually talking to each other instead of sitting at the table and texting each other."
There are some exceptions for emergencies and for instructional purposes in class. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
Still ahead at 6:22.
This is KMOX Health Editor Fred Bottomer. Everything we need to know about the chikungunya virus is coming up.
It's now 6:15.
Cardinals took Thursday off after finishing off a series win at the Dodgers Wednesday afternoon. They went 3-3 on the California trip after dropping their series to San Diego. Cardinals now begin a 9-game homestand at Busch Stadium, which matches the longest of the season. It's the Cubs this weekend, the Colorado Rockies, and then the Yankees, all coming to Busch Stadium before the homestand is over. Tonight, the Cards open that weekend series with the Cubs. They open the series at 58-58, fourth in the National League Central Division, 13 games back of the division-leading Brewers, who lead Major League Baseball with a 70-44 record. Cardinals are 3-4 this season against the Cubs. They split a series at Busch Stadium in June, and then they dropped 2 of 3 in a series over the 4th of July weekend at Wrigley Field. Michael McGreevy gets the start tonight. He's 3-2 with a 5.08 ERA this year in 7 games and 6 starts at the big league level. McGreevy made a start against the Cubs at Busch Stadium in June. He gave up 5 earned runs over 4 2/3 innings, and he struck out 1. Did not factor into the decision in that game. The Cards did win that game. Matthew Boyd starts for Chicago. He's 11-4 with a 2.34 ERA. He has faced the Cards in both series so far this year. He is 2-0 and has not allowed a single run in 11 total innings against the Cardinals this year. First pitch tonight is 7:15. Ameren Total Access gets underway at 6:20. Yesterday, the Cardinals were awarded a waiver claim on 30-year-old right-handed reliever Jorge Alcala from the Red Sox. Alcala has pitched in both the Minnesota and Red Sox systems this year. He's 0-2 with a 6.64 ERA overall, but he had a better time with the Red Sox. No record, but a 3.31 ERA in 19 appearances for Boston. Slow night in the majors last night. The Pirates shut out the Reds 7-0 in Pittsburgh. So Cincinnati is now 60-56, and they sit 2 games ahead of the Cards. Elsewhere, the Mariners win 4-3 over the White Sox. The M's move within a game and a half of Houston in the AL West, rather. The A's beat the Nationals, and the Braves knocked off the Marlins. After some time away, St. Louis City faces Nashville tomorrow night at Energizer Park. Interim head coach David Critchley said the team is in a good spot coming off the time away.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we had I think we had the last good 2 games, the Saturday, Wednesday game against Minnesota and Aston Villa, followed by a good couple of days of training. So we left on a high. I think we've come back on a pretty good high as well. So it was nice for the guys to get away, though, spend some time with the families, friends. Whatever they got up to is on their business.
City is 4-14-6. They sit 14th in the Western Conference. Kickoff tomorrow night is 7:30. Pre-game coverage 7:15 on our sister station, Y98. Next sports update is 6:45. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or 2 half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hi, it's Margaret from Eamon, Gantner & Capriano. I've worked with Eamon, Gantner & Capriano for more than 30 years. Their guidance and assistance with my estate planning and legal documents gives me the peace of mind that I have the retirement I've worked for and always dreamed of. And I'm playing it fully with my grandchildren, volunteering, and traveling worldwide. I play confidently knowing my estate is secured in any event. You can get your estate secured with Eamon, Gantner & Capriano too. Visit their website, yourestatemasters.com, and download their free webinar on how to get started. Then, make a free appointment. Your estate matters because you matter. Eamon, Gantner & Capriano, yourestatemasters.com. The choice of an attorney is an important decision and should not be made solely on advertisement.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
At 6:20, let's get an update on the roads from Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, the other thing we have going on of any consequence is our incident on eastbound Highway 44 right now, Scott. This traffic reports the service of Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electrical, and I believe it's a crash because EMS was called out, and I don't see any change. It's eastbound 44 at Hampton, the left lane shut down, so the two right lanes getting by. There's a brief slowdown. More volume out there now, so a little slow approaching Hampton on eastbound 44, but by no means a jam or an extensive backup at all, but just a little slowdown as you get through the area on eastbound 44 right now. A little slowdown in both directions, 67 at Double C, but once you get on to 55, you're good to go at McNutt and north of Bayless. 270 around Ladue still looks good. 64 between K and Winghaven. Everything's on the go there. I believe they had their project wrapped up, but I never got the final all clear from IDOT. The emergency repairs westbound 64 west of Route 4. We'll keep tabs on it, but I'm not expecting any troubles at that point. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Jerry Kelly can install a new AC tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow, even if we call at 8 tonight.
Wow, that's fast.
They're fast and they're good.
Mathematically, that actually equals got it going on.
Tomorrow.
JerryKelly.com.
No relief from the heat yet. We're going to have plenty of sunshine today, hot and humid this afternoon with a high of 96, and the real feel temperatures could reach over 100 degrees. Sticky again tonight with a low of 76, and then tomorrow another hot, humid day. A lot of sunshine, a high of 95. Currently, we have the sun coming up, 76 degrees in Florissant at 72, in St. Peter, 74 downtown at the Arch.
And the weather sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. The news continues at 6:22. Local health authorities in China have reported more than 8,000 cases of a mosquito-borne illness called chikungunya. Any chance it might come here? KMOX health editor Fred Bodemer found out more about the virus when he talked with infectious disease specialist Dr. Sarah George at St. Louis University School of Medicine.
It is a virus that is transmitted by mosquitoes, mostly in the tropics. There is currently an outbreak going on in southern China, and there was a very large outbreak in Central and South America about 10-odd years ago. It causes a rather nasty disease of fever, ache all over, swollen, painful joints, can even give you a chronic arthritis in some cases.
How is it transmitted?
It's transmitted by the bite of an infected mosquito, but the problem is that people who get the disease are infectious then to mosquitoes. So if a mosquito bites them while they have the disease, and then that mosquito bites that another person, the mosquito will then transmit the disease, the virus.
Can it be transmitted person to person?
Not directly that we know of. It's not transmitted through the air the way COVID is or flu is. It's not transmitted just by touching someone, shaking their hand, anything like that. It's transmitted through mosquitoes.
How is it treated?
There are no licensed antivirals for it, so unfortunately, if you get it, your only real option is rest fluids, Tylenol for the joint aches and pains, and headache, and so on. There are, however, 2 licensed vaccines for it in the United States now. So people have the option of getting one of those vaccines before they travel to an area where there is an outbreak.
Did St. Louis University test those vaccines a couple of years ago?
We tested one of them, and that one has since gone on to licensure. That is the vaccine called Vimkunya.
Do people, though, recover from this?
Mostly yes, but it can be quite miserable for several weeks while your joints are swollen and painful. The name chikungunya comes from a Swahili word for walking stiffly or walking funny. This is originally an African virus, which is now spread all over the tropical parts of the world, I'm sorry to say. And the joints are so painful and so swollen, it's hard to walk, it's painful to move. And again, some people can progress to a chronic arthritis in some joints.
How worried should we be about it spreading here?
Well, we did have cases imported into the United States when we had the outbreak in the Americas, meaning Central and South America. That was probably about 10 odd years ago. People going to countries where it's breaking out, like in South China, can always bring it back with them, which is why they should get vaccinated before they go. And that is now on the CDC websites. There have been locally transmitted cases when there's an outbreak, particularly in areas of high mosquito activity. So there were cases transmitted locally in South Florida and South Texas during the outbreak 10 years ago.
So what about the St. Louis area?
Well, we do have plenty of mosquitoes here, as everybody knows, and again, unfortunately, people who contract this disease are highly infectious to mosquitoes, so one of the things that they are doing in China is they are forcing people with the disease to stay in quarantine for a week or 2 weeks until they're past the infectious period and a mosquito can't get infected. Could we theoretically get local transmission? It could happen if somebody got it in South China or some other country where it's being transmitted, brought it back, and the mosquito bit them and then bit another person. So it theoretically could happen.
Okay, so what do you want listeners to know about chikungunya that are hearing these reports out of China?
First of all, they need to know that this is preventable. We have 2 licensed vaccines in the United States, not just 1, but 2. You can get vaccinated before you go to South China if you're going to take a trip there. The other thing is, anytime you're going into the tropics, take mosquito repellent and preferably mosquito netting with you to sleep under, because there's a lot of other diseases transmitted by mosquitoes in those parts of the world, not just chikungunya.
And Dr. George is an infectious diseases specialist at St. Louis University School of Medicine.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-885-9700. 800-885-9700. That's 800-885-9700.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum, Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros. Just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Register by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
At 6:30, we have mostly clear skies and 75 degrees downtown at the Gateway Arch. Good morning. I'm Scott Jagow.
And I'm Megan Lynch. Before we get to news, let's check the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, pay attention as you're coming in on eastbound 44. I know the sun's in your eyes, but as you're around the bend from Southwest Avenue to Hampton, the two left lanes are blocked. I just saw a car he didn't run into the back of the MoDOT truck, but he got really close before he realized that those two left lanes are closed for that incident. I guess it was an injury crash eastbound 44 at Hampton. They're still waiting for a tow truck to tow the vehicle away, so the still the left lane shut down again. Volume's very light, so there's no backup per se. It's just a little slowdown, but just stay to the right hand side as you come around the bend there. Again, the sun's in your eyes, so maybe it's hard to see if you're not aware of it, but we don't want to have any further problems there. That's the only trouble spot we have, though, on the highways. We're in great shape otherwise on both sides of the river, even in the construction zones. Things look good. We'll keep tabs on 64 westbound at Route 4 on the Illinois side. Emergency repair work was supposed to be wrapped up yesterday afternoon, so hopefully that is the case, and we'll see if there are any delays there as we get into the heart of the morning rush hour. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Thanks, Roger. Heat wave continuing through the weekend. AccuWeather real feel temperatures at or above 100 through Monday. Plenty of sun today, 96 overnight. It'll only get down to 76 degrees, and it'll be humid. Tomorrow, 95. 94 on Sunday, 93 on Monday, maybe a thunderstorm there, maybe a storm on Tuesday, a little cooler, 91. It is 72 right now in St. Peter's, 77 in Florissant, and 75 downtown at the Arch.
It's 6:32. 2 people died after a helicopter crashed into a barge on the Mississippi River near Alton, Illinois yesterday. An Ameren contractor and subcontractor were in the helicopter trying to work on power lines when the crash happened. It reportedly hit one of the lines, causing it to catch fire and crash.
With his final term in the state Senate coming to a close, State Senator Brian Williams is announcing his future political plans.
Williams will run for St. Louis County Executive on the Democratic ticket, presumably challenging incumbent Sam Page. Williams shares with KMOX his priorities for the office.
Public safety is a primary one, building our workforce for tomorrow, creating opportunities for government to work efficiently, and most importantly, show a level of leadership where people trust me and know that we can all work together to achieve goals.
Asked about Sam Page's recent indictment, Williams said he has no opinion and is confident the process will work itself out. The primary election is about a year from now. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
I'm Michael Calhoun with analysis from our Michael Kelly, former head of the state Democratic Party.
Well, I think this could be an interesting race to keep an eye on for a couple of reasons. One, the status the incumbent finds himself in, and the fact that he's running against a candidate who's been elected in a huge portion of St. Louis County.
What are people feeling in their lives that county government's involved in?
That's a good question. It will be interesting to see what the county executive and senator choose to focus on.
Kelly says this will come down to dollars and the political establishment. Do they each stick with Page or jump to Williams?
I think this race could be finished early or it's going to go the whole way.
The primary is not until next August.
This news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Your Money Report is next.
Fairwinds River's Edge is more than a place to live. It's a place to belong. Come see why we have been voted Best Independent Senior Living Community for 4 years in a row by U.S. News & World Report. We think you'll like it here, and the experts agree. Come see us for yourself. Call to schedule a tour and complimentary lunch, or to learn more about our upcoming charity golf tournament benefiting the VFW National Home. Find us online at fairwindsriversedge.com.
Chris Ranji for Siteman Cancer Center, and you have to know that you are somebody's favorite person, and your health matters not just to you, but it matters to people who care about you. Getting screened early for any cancer, whether it's colon or breast cancer, prostate cancer, or lung cancer, it is important to do that. Siteman has set up a website called GetScreenedNow.com. And when you go to it, it's going to help you find a location nearer you. If you live a little farther out from St. Louis and don't want to make the trip into the city, you can get screened closer to home. GetScreenedNow.com, because for me, I'm over 45. It's time for that colonoscopy. Third leading cause of cancer-related deaths in both men and women. And GetScreenedNow.com will help you find a location that is good for you. Doing it early, really, really important. GetScreenedNow.com.
It is 6:35, and your money report is sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano, elder law attorneys.
Good morning. Meta Platforms is moving ahead with plans for a major data center expansion in Louisiana. The social networking company reportedly chose Pacific Investment Management and Blue Owl Capital to lead a $29 billion financing for the project. Meta is looking to stay competitive in the artificial intelligence race. Retirement accounts will be able to include a wider number of assets. An executive order signed by President Trump widens 401k investors' access to private equity, real estate, cryptocurrency, and other alternative assets. Instacart is coming off of a strong quarter. Order growth was the strongest since 2022, and earnings topped estimates. Instacart introduced initiatives to draw in more price-conscious customers. And concert promoter Live Nation's second quarter operating income topped analyst estimates. Live Nation says it's on track for a double-digit increase this year, and it says the fourth quarter is shaping up to be especially strong. With your Bloomberg Money Report, I'm Kimberly Adams on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM KMOX.
This is Tom Ackerman. Whether you're looking for bulk compost or just a few bags, St. Louis Composting provides an extensive selection of compost, soil blends, and mulches. Visit one of their 9 facilities in St. Louis, or you can order online for convenient delivery to your home or job site. There are 9 area locations at stlcompost.com. Again, that site is stlcompost.com. At St. Louis Composting, they like to say, growing gardens, making memories. Enjoy your outdoor space this spring with vegetable gardens and fresh landscaping. With St. Louis Composting, they transform organic yard waste, branches, leaves, grass clippings, and more into premium compost through a 6-month static composting process. They are the largest and most trusted compost provider in the St. Louis area. They are St. Louis Composting. Online at stlcompost.com. That's stlcompost.com.
When my business was taking off, our old phone system just wasn't cutting it. We needed fewer missed calls, more flexibility, and better visibility into customer conversations. That's when I found OpenPhone.
OpenPhone is the all-in-one system for small businesses and growing teams. Manage multiple numbers from one device, work seamlessly as a team with shared numbers, and stay organized with AI-powered call transcripts, summaries, and next steps, so nothing gets missed and your team responds faster. OpenPhone integrates with tools you already use, like Slack, HubSpot, and Zapier, so everything's connected and efficient.
Having tried just about every relevant small business phone system, OpenPhone is truly in a league of its own. It's now essential to how we run our business, and I couldn't be happier with the value it brings.
See why over 60,000 businesses trust OpenPhone. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
We know you're uncertain about psychics. Is this fortune teller you found on a forum legit?
Your one true love is...
me!
That's why California Psychics reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Get insights on the go. Download the California Psychics app today.
Is thinning hair or receding hairline making you self-conscious? Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the Voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 6:39. President Trump's deadline today for Russian President Putin to agree to a ceasefire in Ukraine seems to be fluid.
The president signaled the ceasefire deadline is largely up to President Putin, even as he continued to say he's open to one-on-one discussions with the Russian leader. Speaking to reporters in the Oval Office, Trump said he would still meet with Putin, even if Putin won't meet with Ukrainian President Zelensky, although details on a date, time, or location were not mentioned. The comments come amid the president's earlier threat for Moscow to show progress toward a ceasefire, or he would impose severe economic sanctions. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel plans to take military control of the entire Gaza Strip, the stated goal to eliminate Hamas and secure the area with no intention of permanent governance. The announcement comes amid stalled ceasefire talks and international criticism over the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. The plan also facing internal disagreement within Israel from officials and families of hostages.
At 6:40, let's see what Friday morning's commute looks like. Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, they're still working on wrapping up the earlier crash we had, Scott, on eastbound 44 at Hampton. This traffic reports service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm's left lane's closed. Pay attention as you come around the bend from the Arsenal Southwest area on eastbound 44. The sun's in your eyes, and I saw, 10, 15 minutes ago, a car almost come up onto the back of the MoDOT truck before he realized that left lane was shut down. So it's just the left lane now, so light enough traffic. There really aren't any delays. It's a very brief slowdown going past the scene. I can't tell what the trouble is. I'm assuming it's road work, but I can't see what's blocking. But there is a backup now right now on northbound 55 from River to Pear headed up to Abbott, Virginia. So be prepared if you're running through that area. And I'm also seeing a little bit of a slowdown westbound 64 Lake St. Louis Boulevard headed out through Prospect, and also westbound Highway 70. It looks like there's a little bit of a jam coming through Jennings Station, so we could have some trouble there. Next update is 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company St. Louis Traffic Center.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Well, yesterday, Joe Lundberg, you and I were talking about the fall forecast, but we're not quite there yet, are we?
No, Megan. We got a ways to go, and we're going to have to deal with a heat wave for the next few days. Sunshine today will pretty much dominate from start to finish. Our high temperature will get to 96, and when you combine it with the humidity that's in place, the AccuWeather real field temperature is probably going to get to about 100, 101. Tonight, moonlit, sticky, mid-70s. That's about all we're going to get down to. Sunny tomorrow, hot and humid, the high 95. We'll be in the mid-90s again on Sunday with a mix of sun and clouds. Now, Monday, a front approaches. It could produce a thunderstorm in the afternoon. It's still going to be hot and humid with a high of 93. The question is that front strong enough to bring temperatures down into the upper 80s Tuesday? Right now we're going with 91 with clouds, some sun, and still a risk for a thunderstorm or two. Currently 74 at St. Peter, 76 in Florissant. It's clear, and 78 downtown at the Arch. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Cards Cubs this weekend. I'll tell you who's been swinging it well for the Redbirds. That's straight ahead in sports.
It is 6:42. An actress has settled up over some controversial social media posts.
Gina Carano has reached an agreement with Disney and Lucasfilm after a years-long battle over her dismissal from the Star Wars-themed Mandalorian streaming series. Disney accused the actress of abhorrent and unacceptable language in posts that mocked trans rights, criticized COVID vaccine mandates, and questioned the 2020 election results. Carano's lawsuit was funded by Elon Musk's X. In a statement, the actress says she's excited to flip the page and move on to the next chapter. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Kelly Clarkson's ex-husband and talent manager Brandon Blackstock has died of cancer. His death first reported by People. He was 48. A representative for the Blackstock family shared a statement to the Associated Press explaining that Blackstock battled cancer for more than 3 years.
The glass on a water slide of a Royal Caribbean cruise ship broke as an adult was passing through the slide. Was on the Icon of the Sea ship. Terrified passengers screamed and reacted with horror as they saw a gaping hole in the slide with water gushing out. In a statement, the cruise ship said, "Our team provided medical care to an adult guest when acrylic glass broke off a water slide as the guest was passing through it. The guest was being treated for his injuries. The water slide is, of course, closed for the remainder of the sailing trip."
A lot of blue Chicago Cubs hats at Wrigley Field yesterday, but it was not a baseball game taking place at the friendly confines.
Oh, say does Nearly 1,000 people from 109 countries have been sworn in as new U.S. citizens. Joel Nizgimana from the Democratic Republic of the Congo is among those who've taken part in a special naturalization ceremony at Wrigley Field.
I'm so happy. I was waiting this day.
Winnie Akelo came to the U.S. as a refugee from her native Uganda and is now a case manager for a refugee Refugee Resettlement Agency.
I am so excited that I am now an American citizen. It was worth a wait.
She says her certificate of naturalization is the opportunity for a new beginning for her entire family. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News, Chicago.
Well, the Cubs, in fact, are in St. Louis for a weekend series with the Redbirds. They open the series. The Cards do it 58-58, fourth in the National League Central, 13 back in the Central Division, 5.5 games out of that final wild card spot. One of the guys that's been hot since the All-Star break, that's Jordan Walker. And he helped the Cards take down the Dodgers on Wednesday.
Vesia from the stretch. The pitch. Walker swings, and he lines that left center. Base hit. Around third, Burleson. He's going to score. The throw to the third base area is safe. Down to second. Making it in safely at second base was Walker. And the throw goes into right. Wynn's going to score. The Cardinals have the lead. The Dodgers make a mistake. And the Cardinals come up with a 2-run eighth inning to lead 4-3.
Well, Walker went 3 for 5 in that series finale with the Dodgers, and it was his fourth multi-hit game since returning from the All-Star break. In all, he's hitting .290 with 6 RBIs in that time and appears to have maybe turned the corner. Who's Hot is sponsored by St. Louis Composting. Order online for delivery or pick up premium soil, compost, and mulch at any of our 9 locations. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens, making memories. Cardinals are 3-4 this year against the Cubs. They split a series at Busch Stadium in June. They dropped 2 of 3 in a series against the Cubs at Wrigley Field over the July 4th weekend. First pitch tonight is 7:15. Pre-game show is at 6:20. St. Louis City is back on the pitch this weekend after taking a break. They'll face Nashville tomorrow night at Energizer Park. City 4-14-6 sits 14th in the Western Conference with 18 points. Interim head coach David Critchley was asked about game prep versus prepping this franchise for the future.
I'll always want to work on that. I'll always want to work on the identity. I'll always want to work on what's best for, let's just call it, the sustainable success of the club. But we're still in a position where we want to fight for points every week, and a lot of our focus goes there against Nashville. So at least for the upcoming few games, I'll have 1 or 2 days where I focus on what we want to be and who we are, but I'll also have 1 or 2 days where I'm focusing on the opponent, what they might give, and then just adjusting to that.
Critchley also isn't ruling out playoffs.
Yeah, while there's hope there, we will continue to live on hope and aspire to get there. We know we're in a difficult position in an uphill battle, but while it's mathematically possible, I won't rule it out, and it's just because I really believe in the group that's here. Now that we're all healthy and we have almost the utilization of everybody, it's a talented team, so there's always a chance. We know the chance is small, but while it's still possible, I'll still be hopeful.
Nashville sits third in the East. They've got a +16 goal differential, which is one of the best in MLS. Kickoff tomorrow night is 7:30. Pre-game coverage gets underway at 7:15 on our sister station, Y98. Next sports update is 7:15. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
That baby's gone!
Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your home of the Cardinals.
That ball was mashed.
And there are more ways to watch this season.
Holy cow!
Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Cardinals without blackouts.
How about that play?
Or watch through a TV provider.
Incredible!
Including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more.
He got it!
Learn more at cardinals.com/TV.
Ball game! It couldn't have worked out any better for the Cardinals.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It doesn't take a lot to make a big difference.
That's why we've teamed up with Jerry Kelly Heating and Cooling to bring you 100 acts of kindness.
For the next 6 months, the Chris and Amy Show is challenging you to spread kindness in simple, meaningful ways. No big budget needed.
Write a thank you note, help a neighbor, surprise someone with a smile. It all counts.
Let's prove that kindness is contagious. Share your acts with us by using hashtag 100KindActs.
Because a little kindness goes a long way.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 6:50, traffic and weather together. Let's start with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're doing better on a couple of these area highways, not so great on another. Scott, this traffic report service of Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty. They cleared the crash. We had eastbound 44 at Hampton, all lanes back open there. Whatever we had northbound 55, I don't know if it was additional restrictions from road work or a minor incident that was right around Virginia. They cleared that. Traffic's just a little slow between Bales and Weber, so a big improvement there. But we still have this incident. It looks like it's a crash. I can see the right lane shut down. Westbound 70 west of Jennings Station. You're jammed at about Goodfellow right now on westbound 70 out to that scene. The ramp from South 270 on to eastbound 64 looks a little slow. But other than that, we look great on the Missouri side. On the Illinois side, still no backups downtown at the Poplar or Muswell Veterans Bridges. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
We're going to have sunny skies today. It will be hot and humid this afternoon, a high 96, and it could feel like it's over 100. Moonlit and sticky tonight with a low of 76, and then hot and humid again tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine, a high 95. Currently, we have sunshine, 74 degrees downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 6:52. A 16-year-old boy is behind bars after police say he carjacked 2 rideshare drivers at gunpoint within 48 hours. The first incident happened Tuesday in North City. The teen and 3 others involved were released to their parents the next day. Then Thursday, police say the same 16-year-old carjacked another rideshare driver in North St. Louis. The other teens involved in this incident are still on the run.
Tanya Haddix, the focus of the HBO docuseries Chimp Crazy, sentenced yesterday in a St. Louis federal court to 46 months in prison for perjury and obstruction of justice. Haddix had falsely told the judge a chimpanzee named Tonka had died when she was actually hiding him in her basement. While Tonka is now at a sanctuary, Haddix due back in court next week on separate charges.
FEMA is extending the deadline for those impacted by tornado damage to apply for federal help. It's now August 26th. Mayor Kara Spencer says the city's doing what it can to figure out if anybody is slipping through the cracks.
FEMA has engaged with a data sharing agreement with the city, so we were able to overlay our GIS, the data that really identifies those properties that have been damaged. You can really see that from the extensive drone photography that we were able to deploy right away. Layering that on top of the FEMA data related to the applications gave us a figure of about 700 households that we believe were impacted that had not applied. And so we are targeting those to try to make sure we're using every mechanism, every method possible of getting in touch with every person.
Spencer says they're encouraging people to get to the FEMA disaster recovery centers to find out what's available. Those are at Sumner High School, Union Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church, and the Urban League's Entrepreneurship and Business Women's Center.
We could see some stormy weather as we head into the fall.
And in fact, that's one of the concerns that we have is that the month of September, there may be an influx of moisture from the tropics that doesn't necessarily get here, but is awfully close by. And by that, I mean with any front coming through, it could tap into that tropical air mass and could produce some locally severe weather.
AccuWeather long-range expert Joe Lundberg says we could also see another round of unstable weather in November. It's 6:54.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement. It's your
Today's KMOX birthday shout-out sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family-owned and top-rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. Today's birthdays, Dustin Hoffman is 88 years old. U2's The Edge is 64. Keith Carradine is 76. And Deborah Norville, remember her from Inside Edition? She's 66.
We have a lot of local celebrity birthdays for today and tomorrow. Happy birthday to Sandy Sanders and Wilma Jackson. Happy birthday wishes going out to Sue Moran from the Game Girls, Sharon Silver from the Game Nighters, Dana Kiley from the Church Chicks, and Jay Ingram and Linda Brantley from the Retirees. Also, birthday wishes to Richard Buteau and Eddie Hebron. Happy birthday to Dave Buchheit from the Spring family. Emily Simmons celebrating today. Happy birthday to you from the Buchheit family. Happy 8th birthday to Quinn Blinko from Grandma and Grandpa. And also happy birthday to Luna Spring from all your St. Louis family.
This is the best birthday ever.
You've got a ton of equity in your home. You're sitting on a gold mine, and you could do so much with all that cash, like travel, invest it, or pay off debt, but you can't touch it unless you sell your home. But you really don't want to move. And besides, homes are sitting on the market for a long time these days. You're trapped, right? Well, not with Truehold. With Truehold, you can cash out your equity in as little as 30 days. And listen, you don't have to move. You can stay in the home you love as a renter. So that's Truehold's Sell and Stay program. You cash out your entire home's value and stay put. Truehold even covers property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs. So imagine using that equity to travel, invest, or pay off debt and stay in your home. It's brilliant, especially in this slow market. You get an all-cash offer now by calling 1-855-300-9993. You can also visit Truehold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
Looking for a place to call home without all the maintenance? Check out the Towns of Linneman Park, new townhomes by Lombardo, located in St. Peters. These new construction townhomes are located on the south side of 36494, east of Harvester Road, and offer floor plans featuring 2 to 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, a loft, and 2-car attached garages. Community amenities include a clubhouse, pool, pickleball courts, dog park, and walking trails. Tour our newly decorated display and fall in love with your new townhome. Visit LombardoHomes.com for more information.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. I've been asked many times how Morgan & Morgan became the largest injury firm in the world. I think I know. When someone comes to us for an on-the-job injury, we have a huge workers' compensation practice. But many times we find a defective product that was responsible for that injury. Luckily for them, we have a product liability section headed by my son Mike. In addition to the comp case, there is a product case too. Other times, the injured worker is fired or harassed for bringing that claim. We have them covered. Our employment lawyers handle retaliation claims as well as wage theft and discrimination cases, and in some cases need to file for Social Security benefits. No problem. We became big for a reason. 30% of our new cases come as referrals from former clients. Hiring us is easy. Go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer, or call Pound Law on your cell, pound 529. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Your home for St. Louis Cardinals baseball. 104.1 FM. KMOX.
It is 6:58. Roger Brand is watching Friday morning's commute for us from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, I got a few different reports of things in the last couple of minutes, Scott. I'm looking right now for a crash. They're reporting southbound 270 north of the Rock Road. They're sending a bunch of equipment out there. Traffic looks good going past 370, and it looks good approaching the Rock Road. So if it's out there, it's not causing much in the way of delays. They're also sending EMS. I see it looks like it's on the shoulder. Well, it is on the shoulder, what I'm looking at. The report of a motorcycle crash, but it looks like the motorcycle's is on the shoulder, westbound 364, just west of Mid Rivers. So just watch it in the area there. And, of course, we still have the one thing I'm certain about, and that's the crash. Westbound 70, just immediately west of Jennings Station. They have the right lane shut down. Traffic's not a solid jam, but it is busy coming out from about Goodfellow right now on westbound Highway 70 past that scene. Northbound 55 is completely thinned out across River to Pear. We had an incident earlier there near Virginia. They're reporting a stall north 55 near Highway Z, but I'm not seeing that either. Next update at 7:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
This is Friday, August 8th. I'm Megan Lynch. These are the stories making news.
The helicopter hit power lines and fell over the Mississippi River. I'm Sean Malone. I've got that story coming up.
I'm Scott Jagow.
I'm Maria Aquino with what Ameren is saying about a fatal helicopter crash in West Alton.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Lots of sunshine today. Hot and humid this afternoon, high 96.
I'm Joe Pott. It's a Cards-Cubs weekend at Busch Stadium. St. Louis City is back on the pitch, and we'll hear from interim head coach David Critchley. That's all coming up in sports.
Still ahead on CBS News, a new wildfire erupts north of Los Angeles, prompting an evacuation order, and Israel's security cabinet approves a plan for its military to take control of Gaza City.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is the CBS News World News Roundup, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
Scary, that's for sure.
A brand new wildfire has torn through nearly 5,000 acres of Los Angeles in a single day. It's being fueled by high winds and heat. Correspondent Andres Gutierrez is near the front lines in Castaic.
Within a few hours of igniting yesterday, the Canyon Fire exploded to 1,500 acres, triggering mandatory evacuation orders and warnings near the Santa Clarita Valley.
We have all the animals in the car, important documents, and we're ready if we gotta go.
I'm going to try to stay as long as I can to protect my home.
This is the fourth major inferno in the region in recent days.
Hamas says Israel's new plan to take control of Gaza City will mean sacrificing the hostages. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told Fox,
"We don't want to be there as a governing body. We want to hand it over to Arab forces that will govern it properly."
CBS's Deborah Patta reports from Jerusalem.
In Gaza, there was disbelief and despair. Netanyahu has said he wants to occupy the whole territory. There's nothing left to occupy, said Mahmoud al-Qurashli. We're already dying 100,000 deaths every day.
Today is President Trump's deadline for Russia to reach a ceasefire agreement with Ukraine, but there's no word it has and no word of any consequences. Mr. Trump says progress has been made, and he's still talking about an in-person get-together with President Putin. Correspondent Weijia Jiang is at the White House.
The White House says a date and location have not been set, but Trump himself said he was open to meeting Putin without preconditions and without Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky.
The Justice Department has doubled the reward for information that leads to the arrest of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro.
I'm Vicki Barker at the Foreign Desk. Attorney General Pam Bondi used the social media platform X to post word of the new $50 million bounty, and it didn't take long for social media to be flooded with tongue-in-cheek responses. "He's in Venezuela. Where's my $50 million?" was such a typical response that the phrase "he's in Venezuela" started trending on social media.
President Trump says he's instructed the Department of Commerce to begin working on a new census that does not count undocumented immigrants and migrants. UVA political analyst Larry Sabato says there may be a problem with that.
The Constitution calls for all persons to be counted, and that has always been interpreted as including anyone who is within that state or jurisdiction.
Dow futures are up 125. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
At 7:04, it is sunny and 75 degrees downtown at the Gateway Arch. Friday, August 8th. Good morning. I'm Scott Jagow.
And the news is sponsored by St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station. I'm Megan Lynch. 2 people died as a helicopter crashed into a barge on the Mississippi River yesterday.
A helicopter doing work on electrical lines that run across the Mississippi River fell out of the sky and crashed into a barge below before catching fire. According to Deputy Fire Chief Matthew Fisher with the Alton Fire Department, he says that the 2 occupants of the helicopter were pronounced dead at the scene. However, he says that's as far as the victims go.
No other injuries are noted, and we don't have any leaks on the boat, the barge.
Fisher says they, along with a flurry of other first responders, had a difficult time making it to the barge quickly because it is located south of the Belvin Price Lock and Dam. Along the banks of the Mississippi River, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
KMOX spoke with eyewitness Adam Briggs, who was fishing and says he saw the helicopter fall and explode. He tells us the chopper's crew was working with aerial marker balls on power transmission lines just before it fell.
They were actually right at the high tension line. The worker was on the side of the helicopter. I could see him from the high vantage point with the ball at his feet, on the foot of that helicopter. And they were there to place that ball there. And so obviously they were very close proximity to that high tension line. The high tension line now is in the river.
Briggs says it was difficult to watch.
I'm Maria Kina. A tragic day for contractors working for Ameren on power lines along the Mississippi River in West Alton. The 2 occupants of the chopper died after it crashed into a barge. While the exact cause is still not known, Ameren released a statement to KMOX that reads in part, quote, an Ameren contractor and its subcontractor were repairing tower lighting and marker balls in the Madison County, Illinois area. The crash happened on the Missouri side of the river. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
St. Louis County Executive Sam Page has a Democratic challenger arise to oppose his reelection. State Senator Brian Williams announced he'll run for the Democratic nomination next year. He tells KMOX his experience working across the political spectrum in Jefferson City will help him lead the largest county in the state.
Bringing that attitude not only home and working with a council that's laser focused only on St. Louis County, but also bringing regional leaders from the city and surrounding counties together to ultimately make a case on why our region, starting with St. Louis County, should thrive and be a place that people want to eat, sleep, and work.
Williams says public safety and building the workforce would be his top priorities as county executive.
I'm Michael Calhoun with analysis from our Michael Kelly, former head of the state Democratic Party.
Well, I think this could be an interesting race to keep an eye on for a couple of reasons. One, the status the incumbent finds himself in, and the fact that he's running against a candidate who's been elected in a huge portion of St. Louis County.
What are people feeling in their lives that county government's involved in?
That's a good question. It will be interesting to see what the county executive and senator choose to focus on.
Kelly says this will come down to dollars and the political establishment. Do they each stick with Page or jump to Williams?
I think this race could be finished early or it's going to go the whole way.
The primary is not until next August.
More on the city's pause on abiding by minority and women-owned participation goals when awarding contracts. Mayor Kara Spencer defends the decision.
We have a real disparity in the wealth generated in the construction industry here in our city. Nationally, this is an issue, but it's particularly one here.
She says she believes the role of the city is to help rectify that disparity. How to do that? She says she'll listen to a consultant brought in by the city's economic development agency. It's tasked with how to accomplish that without putting any federal funds or programs at risk.
We are in the midst of another hot weather pattern. We'll get the latest on the forecast, plus the roads in 2 minutes. It's 7:08.
Cardinal Cowboy here. After proving the doctors wrong following my accident, I got back to baseball, started kicking field goals, then finally got paid as a pro kicker and ultimately became a leader in the marketing world. That's why I trust Renner Garage Door, exceeding expectations for over 65 years. They service, sell, and install top brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster. Get your free quote today. Check them out at RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros. Just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. accepted. Registered by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Paid for by Action Matters. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Attention parents of children who have used the gaming platform known as Roblox. If your child was a victim of sexual abuse or harm of any kind while using the Roblox platform, you may be entitled to compensation. Roblox is facing multiple high-profile lawsuits, including an ongoing class action, alleging it failed to protect users from foreseeable dangers that led to the grooming, exploitation, and sexual abuse of minors on the platform. Claims allege Roblox turned a blind eye to predators, unsafe games, and deceptive monetization practices that targeted children. Victims were contacted through in-game chats and coerced into private conversations on third-party apps. If you believe your child may have been a victim of grooming, sexual abuse, or harm of any kind while using the Roblox platform, you may be entitled to a cash settlement. Text our helpline now to find out if you have a viable compensation claim against Roblox. Text GONE to 32 32 32. That's GONE to 32 32 32. GONE to 32 32 32.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It's 7:10. Traffic and weather together. Roger Brands in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Scott, it's a pretty light Friday morning, so there's really no issues unless you're running into a trouble spot, and we only have a few of those out there right now. I'm looking at the one westbound Highway 70. They're still working this crash, westbound 70 west of Jennings Station. Looks like the right lane's still blocked because the MoDOT trucks that I can see still have their lane indicators on. So there's just a short delay west of Goodfellow, really, through Jennings Station. So very brief duration. We do have this jam, this crash being worked southbound 270. It's about midway between 370 and the Rock Road. And traffic's backed up at 370 on southbound 270 because of that one. We also had there was a report of a crash involving a motorcyclist. It just looked like a motorcycle on the shoulder to me. But westbound 364 west of Mid Rivers, it is westbound. So folks seem to be getting by that one without any issue. And we had a stall reported north 55 around Highway Z. But again, I don't see it and I don't see any delays. So that's good news. Otherwise, the rest of these highways, like I said, it's a Friday morning. So they're lighting on the go for you in all directions. Next update at 7:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
The heat wave continues into Monday. AccuWeather real fuel temperature will be at or just over 100 through Monday. We'll see sunshine today with a hot, humid afternoon high of 96, then moonlit and sticky tonight, those 76. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine, hot and humid high 95. For Sunday, a mix of sun and clouds, hot and humid high 94. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
We have sunny skies, 77 in Florissant now, 73 in St. Peters, and 75 degrees downtown at the Arch. The weather sponsored by Spire, your natural gas provider. Spire has a fresh new look coming your way. They're updating their envelope color from orange to white. In August, be on the lookout for your Spire natural gas bill arriving in a fresh white envelope.
Cards Cubs this weekend. It's a long homestand for the Redbirds, and I've got more coming up in sports.
It is 7:12. So far this year, the names of more than 200,000 people have been removed from Missouri's voter rolls. Secretary of State Denny Hoskins tells MissouriNet many moved to another state and assumed their voter registration back in Missouri would automatically expire.
However, that's not the case. And so we are working very hard in order to make sure that when people do move and they haven't changed their voter registration, we go ahead and take those people off the voter rolls.
Hoskins says doing so ensures that someone who moves to and votes in another state doesn't then return to Missouri and vote a second time in the same election. The recent purge of names from the state's voter rolls also included more than 18,000 dead people, 2,000 felons, and an undisclosed number of non-U.S. citizens.
Health insurance premiums could be on the rise for many Missourians. State regulators warn of looming increases in individual and small group plans driven by mounting provider costs. State Insurance Director Angie Nelson tells MissouriNet there are also increasing uses in prescription drugs.
Those GLP-1s that are so fond in the public right now for folks, the diabetes injections that also have been prescribed for weight loss, the cost of those is really, really impacting prescription drug coverage and really driving up costs.
Missourians have until September 2nd to share their thoughts at insurance.mo.gov before final 2026 rates are locked in October 31st.
Missouri schools will be no phone zones when kids head back soon.
Most of your kids are going to hate that bill.
This is Stuart McMillan. Missouri State Senator Mike Henderson sponsored the bill signed into law by Governor Mike Kehoe, banning cell phones during times of teaching in class, during meal times, and between classes. While doing research for the bill, Henderson says he spoke with leaders at Cape Central Schools who already ban phones about how it's nice to hear kids at lunchtime actually speaking out loud with one another. But he says there's a more serious reason for the statewide ban.
These cell phones are being used for cheating. They're being used for sexting, and you probably don't realize just how much of that's going on, which is really bad.
A new study from the CDC reveals that ultra-processed foods make up 55% of Americans' caloric intake. It's the first time the agency has analyzed this specific category of food consumption. The report defines ultra-processed foods as industrial creations with few whole food ingredients and found that sandwiches are the top source. While consumption rates have slightly declined, they remain high, especially among children and those with low income.
Still ahead at 7:22.
Page v. Williams. How is this going to go?
I think this race could be finished early or it's going to go the whole way.
I'm Michael Calhoun with the latest.
Right now it's 7:15.
Well, the Cards took Thursday off after finishing off a series win at the Dodgers Wednesday afternoon. Cardinals go 3-3 on the California trip after dropping the series to San Diego. Cardinals now begin a 9-game homestand at Busch Stadium. That matches the longest of the season. The Colorado Rockies and the Yankees come to Busch Stadium all before the homestand is over, but tonight, the Cards open a weekend series with the Cubs. Redbirds open the series at 58-58, fourth in the National League Central, 13 out of the division. And they trail MLB leading Brewers, who are 70-44 this year. Cards are 3-4 against the Cubs. They split a series at Busch Stadium in June, and they dropped 2 of 3 against Chicago at Wrigley Field on July 4th weekend. Michael McGreevy will make the start tonight. He is your player to bank on. Brought to you by Community America Credit Union, invested in you. McGreevy is 3-2 with a 5.08 ERA, 7 games, 6 starts at the big league level this year. He has faced the Cubs, made the start against Chicago at Busch Stadium in June, giving up 5 earned runs over 4 2/3 innings. He struck out 1. No decision for him in that game, but the Cards did win that game. Matthew Boyd starts for Chicago. He's 11-4 with a 2.3 ERA this year. He's pitched each of the series so far against the Cardinals. He is 2-0, and he's not allowed a run in 11 total innings against the Cards this year. First pitch is 7:15. Ameren Total Access gets underway at 6:20. Yesterday, the Cards were awarded a waiver claim on 30-year-old right-handed reliever, that is, Jorge Alcala from the Red Sox. He's pitched with both Minnesota and Boston this year, and he's 0-2 with a 6.64 ERA in all. He had no record and a 3.31 ERA in 19 appearances with the Red Sox. Slow night last night in the majors. The Pirates shut out the Reds 7-0. Cincinnati now 60-56. They're 2 games ahead of the Cards in the division. The Mariners win 4-3 over the White Sox, and the M's move within a game and a half of Houston in the American League West Division. A's beat the Nationals. Braves knocked off the Marlins. After some time away, St. Louis City back on the pitch. They'll face Nashville tomorrow night. Interim head coach David Critchley said the team's in a good spot coming from the time off.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we had I think we had the last good 2 games, the Saturday-Wednesday game against Minnesota and Aston Villa, followed by a good couple of days of training. So we left on a high. I think we've come back on a pretty good high as well. So it was nice for the guys to get away, though, spend some time with the families, friends, whatever they got up to is on their business.
City 4-14-6, 14th in the West. Nashville 14-6-5, 3rd in the East. Kickoff tomorrow is 7:30. Pre-game coverage gets underway at 7:15 on our sister station, Y98. Next sports update is 7:45. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
104.1 FM KMOX. News, talk, sports.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Grounded to third, diving play by Arenado. They get the out! Unbelievable!
Get ready for the ultimate showdown. The New York Yankees come to Busch Stadium the weekend of August 15th through the 17th, and they're bringing the star power. See sluggers like Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton take on your Cardinals in one of the biggest series of the season. Finish off your summer in style with the Cardinals and Yankees. Great seats still available. Get yours now at Cardinals.com.
This is Nolan Arenado, St. Louis Cardinals, Fort Lulu.
Summer in St. Louis means one thing: Cardinals baseball. It's more than a game, it's an STL tradition. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, the boom of the fireworks. It's the soundtrack to summer for Cardinals Nation. So grab your cap and glove and take your spot in the stands, because in St. Louis, baseball is more than a melody, it's our favorite song.
Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
It is 7:20. Time to check on the roads this Friday morning. Roger Brands in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, if you don't have a problem, you don't have a delay, Scott. We look great on most of these area highways, just where you have some troubles. And I'm looking at that crash. It looks like they may have it over to the right shoulder now. Westbound 70 just west of Jennings Station. Traffic still slow through the area west of Goodfellow on westbound Highway 70. They're still working with that. They called it a motorcycle crash. I couldn't tell, but it's on the right shoulder, westbound 364 west of Mid-River. Since it's on the shoulder and opposite direction of the rush hour flow, that one's not posing any problems at all, no delays. And we do still have a little bit of a jam up in North County. That crash westbound or southbound 270, midway between 370 and the Rock Road lane blockage there. It's jammed back through 370. In fact, eastbound 370, those right lanes, that ramp lane getting onto South 270 is backed up, so pay attention if you're coming through in that direction as well. It's impacting you on the Illinois side. Things look great headed for the downtown bridges. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And checking that forecast for today, it is going to be another hot one. Plenty of sunshine, humid as well. A high 96. Real feel temperatures could top 100. Sticky tonight, an overnight low of 76, and then hot and humid tomorrow with more sunshine, a high 95. Currently, we have sunshine, 75 degrees downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 7:22. Term-limited state senator Brian Williams, as we've reported, is taking on St. Louis County Executive Sam Page. Both are Democrats. The primary is next August, a year from now. KMOX's Michael Calhoun shapes up the race with Democratic political analyst Michael Kelly.
Just a few weeks ago, when this rumor was floating out there that he was looking at this, it was a different dynamic of the race. What's different now with the indictment?
Well, there's political consequences that come with prosecutions and an indictment. I mean, just the word is startling to hear. And when you find out an elected official has been indicted, that's a serious matter. And it's not necessarily something an incumbent wants to deal with when they're in the midst of a re-election campaign. Obviously, I think Sam Page will try to talk about it being a politically motivated indictment, and that will be determined by the voters as to whether or not that's the case. But it definitely causes a vulnerability that no candidate wants when they're going to seek re-election.
And this is not the first challenge that Dr. Page has faced in the primary. They've come in different forms, different kinds of approaches to the challenge. What's different about this one? Why does this one have maybe a better chance of success than some of the primary challenges of the past?
Well, I think this could be an interesting race to keep an eye on for a couple of reasons. One, the status the incumbent finds himself in, and the fact that he's running against a candidate who's been elected and a huge portion of St. Louis County, and often a base vote area of the Democratic Party. So when you find yourself seeking re-election as an incumbent, facing a challenger is never good, specifically one that's already been elected by the voters and has an ability to put together resources.
What even are the issues that are top of mind for voters in St. Louis County? What are we going to be hearing a lot from each of these candidates? What are people feeling in their lives that county government's involved in?
That's a good question. It will be interesting to see what the county executive and senator choose to focus on. Obviously, there's been a lot of strife in St. Louis County, and I think that it's been frustrating to many people who remember the glory days of go along, get along, and St. Louis County did well as a result of that. That's not the case right now on the county council. So I would suspect you're going to hear a lot of from Senator Williams talking about the fact that he would be a county executive who could get along with people and find ways to get to compromise. The incumbent, Dr. Page, I think will find himself making the case that he still steered the county through the COVID crisis and point to the programs that he's put in place in his time as county executive, while also having to deal with the questions coming from the Attorney General's office. So I would anticipate he'll try to make it a little bit larger political narrative dealing with Republicans in Jefferson City. So it will be interesting to see this campaign unfold and the strategies that the two of them implement.
Yeah, you kind of touched on this, but with all the discord in St. Louis County and just people cannot figure out any kind of common ground, what is his reputation? How do Republicans view him? How do different parts of the Democratic Party, view him? Has he gotten a lot accomplished in Jefferson City? Would there be a change in the discord if he were to go to Clayton?
Well, when you look at St. Louis County, I think it's undeniable that there is a personality conflict that exists between the county executive and the county council. I would argue to you that it doesn't even appear to be a political disagreement. It's a personal disagreement. The county council is controlled by the Democrats, yet I'm not sure that the Democrats are united behind the county executive's position. That's a real problem, and that's a tough story for all sides of that battle to deal with. And why is the county executive not able to get along with the county council, and more importantly, with the people in his own party? Brian Williams does have a record of compromise, getting along, and being able to foster relationships to move things forward. If he's able to highlight that, that would definitely be a stark contrast to what we're experiencing right now in the county. But listen, Mike, at the end of the day, an incumbent is a really hard animal to tackle when you're taking on an incumbent. So this is going to be an interesting race, and probably even more interesting to watch because the incumbent is potentially wounded by the indictments that have come out of Jefferson City.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey St. Louis, this is Ben Barnett, board-certified master arborist and owner at Timberline Professional Tree Care. As a local small business owner for the past 24 years, I always do my best to shop local and support our community. Recently, 2 of the largest tree contractors in the region have sold to out-of-town investment groups. This means that the new owners of these companies are not invested in quality, customer satisfaction, or safety, except for how it affects their bottom line. Timberline Professional Tree Care was founded in 2001 and is focused solely on giving you, the customer, the safest, highest quality product while providing the best customer service before, during, and after the job. I've poured my heart and soul into tree care for the past 24 years and we aren't going anywhere. When it comes time to take care of your trees, I ask that you shop local and call me, Ben Barnett, at Timberline Professional Tree Care, 636-479-7475, or online at stltreecare.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and Zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan. Have you noticed loose bricks or missing mortar around your house on the walls, the patios, the walkways, the porch, or the chimneys? If so, you need to call Morelli Tuck Pointing. 314-645-1387. You might need one of two things: solid tuck pointing, the removal of old mortar with the replacement of new mortar throughout an entire wall or chimney, or maybe just spot tuck pointing. Spot tuck pointing involves the tuck pointing of a particular wall, a chimney, or other masonry surface in an area where it's needed the most. One example might be settlement cracks, usually found above or below windows or doorways. 314-645-1387. Call the company that the Brennans have called when we've needed tuck pointing. Morelli Tuck Pointing, the masonry specialists. Winner of the Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2005. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
At 7:30, we have sunny skies, 75 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch.
And I'm Scott Jagow. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, I'm not sure. Well, now they're back. They keep changing things up on westbound 70, Scott, at Jennings Station, just past Jennings Station, where we had a crash. They were on the right lane, then they were on the right shoulder. Then just a moment ago, they were in the left lane. Now that it looks like they're back over to the right shoulder or maybe right lane. So there's still, again, just a short backup coming through Goodfellow to Jennings Station on westbound 70. They cleared that crash south 270 between 370 and the Rock Road, so everything has thinned out for you there. We have an incident westbound 70. Looks like a crash near Lake St. Louis Boulevard. There's a little bit of a jam up back at about Bryan Road if you're going westbound on Highway 70. Thankfully, it's not impacting eastbound 70 drivers. They're in fine shape going through on the eastbound side. Still no delays on the south side. Northbound 55 looks good at McNutt and north of Bayless, although eastbound 44, we had an incident right near the Arch grounds. It looks like maybe they cleared it, but traffic is backed up at about Park Avenue on eastbound 44 as you get through the heart of downtown. Next update at 7:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And checking that forecast for today, it looks like we're going to have heat continuing through the weekend with real field temperatures at or over 100 through Monday. For today, plenty of sunshine, hot and humid, a high 96. Humid tonight with an overnight low of 76, and then more of the same tomorrow, a high of 95. Right now, we have sunny skies, 75 degrees downtown at the Arch.
It is 7:31. 2 people died after a helicopter crashed into a barge on the Mississippi near Alton yesterday. The chopper crashed around 11 in the morning. Ameren says an Ameren contractor and subcontractor were in the helicopter trying to work on power lines when it happened. It reportedly hit one of the lines, causing it to catch fire and crash.
St. Louis police looking for the owner of 3 dogs that reportedly attacked a man walking at Forest Park. The victim says the owner was playing with his dogs off leash Wednesday night when they ran up and bit him in the legs and arm. According to investigators, after the attack, the dog's owner packed them up in his car and drove off.
A 16-year-old boy is behind bars after police say he carjacked 2 rideshare drivers at gunpoint within 48 hours. The first incident happened Tuesday in North City. That teen and 3 others involved were released to their parents the next day. Then Thursday, police say the same 16-year-old carjacked another rideshare driver in North St. Louis. The other teens involved are still on the run.
Tanya Haddix, the focus of the HBO docuseries Chimp Crazy, sentenced in a St. Louis federal court to nearly 4 years in prison for perjury and obstruction of justice. Haddix had falsely told the judge a chimpanzee named Tonka had died. She was actually hiding him in her basement. While Tonka is now at a sanctuary, Haddix is due back in court next week on separate charges.
Meteorologists say we could start the fall with stormy weather. AccuWeather long-range expert Joe Lundberg tells us there may be an influx of moisture from the tropics that impacts our weather system.
Precipitation, September looks to be the wettest of the 3 months, and then things tend to dry out a little bit more as we go through October, November. The fronts that come through have a little bit less punch to them. But again, any one of those fronts has the capability of producing severe weather on the front end and then again on the back end of the fall season.
Lundberg says temperatures could be slightly above average at the start of fall in September.
Still ahead on Total Information AM.
This is KMOX Health Editor Fred Bottomer. Everything we need to know about the chikungunya virus is coming up.
It's 7:33. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Your Money Report next.
When my business was taking off, our old phone system just wasn't cutting it. We needed fewer missed calls, more flexibility, and better visibility into customer conversations. That's when I found OpenPhone.
OpenPhone is the all-in-one system for small businesses and growing teams. Manage multiple numbers from one device, work seamlessly as a team with shared numbers, and stay organized with AI-powered call transcripts, summaries, and next steps, so nothing gets missed and your team responds faster. OpenPhone integrates with tools you already use, like Slack, HubSpot, and Zapier, so everything's connected and efficient.
Having tried just about every relevant small business phone system, OpenPhone is truly in a league of its own. It's now essential to how we run our business, and I couldn't be happier with the value it brings.
See why over 60,000 businesses trust OpenPhone. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
It is 7:35, and your money report this hour is sponsored by Busey Bank.
Good morning. Meta Platforms is moving ahead with plans for a major data center expansion in Louisiana. The social networking company reportedly chose Pacific Investment Management and Blue Owl Capital to lead a $29 billion financing for the project. Meta is looking to stay competitive in the artificial intelligence race. Retirement accounts will be able to include a wider number of assets. An executive order signed by President Trump widens 401k investors' access to private equity, real estate, cryptocurrency, and other alternative assets. Instacart is coming off of a strong quarter. Order growth was the strongest since 2022, and earnings topped estimates. Instacart introduced initiatives to draw in more price-conscious customers. And concert promoter Live Nation's second quarter operating income topped analyst estimates. Live Nation says it's on track for a double-digit increase this year, and it says the fourth quarter is shaping up to be especially strong. With your Bloomberg Money Report, I'm Kimberly Adams on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM KMOX.
This is the run my own business dream. This is the colleges paid for dream. This is the retire early dream. This is Busey, where your dreams and possibilities become moments. Through trusted guidance and expertise, through lifelong relationships. Because we're here to help you achieve the life you've always envisioned. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
That baby's gone!
Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your home of the Cardinals.
That ball was mashed.
And there are more ways to watch this season.
Holy cow!
Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Cardinals without blackouts.
How about that play?
Or watch through a TV provider.
Incredible!
Including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more.
He got it!
Learn more at cardinals.com/TV.
Ball game! It couldn't have worked out any better for the Cardinals.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 13th. An accredited state university, University of Maryland Global Campus offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits towards a master's. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chevy.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
It's the annual KMOX Blood Drive with the American Red Cross, August 21st from 2 to 7 at multiple locations. Everyone who attempts to donate receives a $15 e-gift card. Make an appointment in the Red Cross Blood Donor app or at redcrossblood.org and enter KMOX for a drive near you.
Today, the Cards, the Cubs. Ameren Total Access 620.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
More news now at 7:39. St. Louis gets a lot of mosquitoes. So what are the chances the mosquito-borne virus that's hitting southern China hard right now might find its way here? KMOX health editor Fred Bottomer reports.
It's called chikungunya, and it's most often found in the tropics, but now has hit parts of China. It's transmitted by the bite of a mosquito who is already infected with the virus, but not by person-to-person contact. SLU infectious diseases specialist Dr. Sarah George.
We have 2 licensed vaccines in the United States, not just one, but 2. You can get vaccinated before you go to South China if you're going to take a trip there. The other thing is anytime you're going into the tropics, take mosquito repellent and preferably mosquito netting with you to sleep under, because there's a lot of other diseases transmitted by mosquitoes in those parts of the world, not just chikungunya.
Dr. George says theoretically the virus could come here if someone is infected in China, comes back home and is bitten again by another mosquito, who then bites someone else, transmitting the virus to that person. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
At 7:40, an update on Friday morning's commute from Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still got this crash out here, Scott, on westbound Highway 70, just west of Jennings Station. Right lane was blocked, then it was on the shoulder, then it was in the left lane. It looks like it's back to the right lane or right shoulder. I can just see the MoDOT trucks. I can't see the crash in front of them, but there's still a backup from Goodfellow, just only Goodfellow, but Goodfellow through Jennings Station. It's just west of Jennings Station. It's bumper to bumper on westbound 70. And then we still have this crash westbound 70 before Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Traffic's jammed at Bryan Road on westbound 70 out to that one. Eastbound 70 is a little busy just from 270 into the Rock Road. Eastbound 64 looks great from Wentzville all the way through the Interbelt. Northbound 55 is fine from McNutt all the way up through the Bayless area. Southbound 55, there's a little bit of a slowdown about midway down from M to Highway Z, just maybe a minor incident there. South 270 is also just a little busy. South of Olive headed down to Ladue. And I'm seeing roadwork delays once again. Not a lot of volume on a Friday, but westbound 64 west of Route 4, midway into 158 is heavy. I believe they were supposed to have that emergency repair work wrapped up yesterday afternoon, but I never got the all clear from IDOT, and I guess they're still dealing with it. Also, eastbound 44 looks a little slow going up the hill from 141. Next update is 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
No relief from the heat yet. The real field temperatures are going to top 100 degrees over the weekend. Sunshine today, hot and humid, a high of 96, 76 for our low tonight. Tomorrow, more of the same, hot, humid, sunny, a high 95. For Saturday, partly sunny, hot and humid, a high 94. Right now, we have 78 degrees reported in Florissant, 75 in St. Peters, sunny skies, 76 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 7:42 from the KMOX archives. August 8th, 1974, 51 years ago, disgraced by the Watergate scandal and the subsequent cover-up, President Nixon avoided impeachment proceedings in Congress by announcing his resignation. Nixon said he was reluctant to leave office, but he felt he had no choice.
I have never been a quitter. To leave office before my term is completed is abhorrent to every instinct in my body. But as president, I must put the interests of America first.
2 years ago today, a wildfire spread through the island of Maui, killing more than 100 people and causing an estimated $5.5 billion in damages. CBS News correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti is there with the latest on recovery efforts.
Downtown Lahaina is still closed to the public. Local businesses, they're reopening across the island. Maui County has rolled out housing programs to aid survivors. Affordable housing, it's long been an issue here. And long-term plans for the town's future are starting to take shape. It's been encouraging. Officials say Lahaina is turning a chapter, pointing to the fact that nearly 500 additional building permits have now been approved. Remarkable, they say, considering it took nearly a year to remove all of the wreckage. Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, in Lahaina.
A pop star is in mourning after the death of her ex.
Kelly Clarkson says she's devastated for her children. Her ex-husband, talent manager Brandon Blackstock, has died a day after the singer announced she was postponing her Las Vegas residency shows for the second time since July. His family says Blackstone had been battling melanoma, a serious form of skin cancer, for more than 3 years. He and Clarkson were married for 7 years and shared an 11-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old son. The couple settled a tumultuous divorce in 2022. Brandon Blackstone was 48. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Gina Carano settled her lawsuit against Lucasfilm and Disney over her firing from The Mandalorian. The actor had filed suit in federal court last year, alleging she'd been dismissed from the Star Wars series in 2021 for expressing right-wing views on social media. Specific terms of the agreement were not made public.
Britain's Royal Mail is celebrating Monty Python with postage stamps.
The collection honors the Monty Python comedy troupe's influence on making people laugh over nearly 6 decades. The 10-stamp series highlights iconic characters and catchphrases.
Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Say no more.
And the Lumberjack song.
He cuts down trees, he eats his lunch, he goes to the laboratory.
6 stamps feature scenes from Monty Python's Flying Circus TV show, like the Ministry of Silly Walks and the Spanish Inquisition.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
4 stamps mark the 50th anniversary of the film Monty Python and the Holy Grail. The stamps go on sale August 14. Michael Toscano, CBS News.
I grew up watching that with my dad. It's probably a good thing I was too young to really know some of the humor. Went right over my head.
Great.
Yep.
Great show.
Great dad.
Well, the Cards are coming home tonight. They open a long homestand, and Matt Pauley has more.
The Cardinals enjoyed an off day yesterday after taking 2 of 3 from the Dodgers. They last played on Wednesday, winning by a 5-3 score, and tonight they are back at home for a 9-game homestand. It starts with a 3-game weekend series against the Chicago Cubs. The Cardinals tonight are going to send Michael McGreevy to the mound. The rookie comes in with a 3-2 record, a 5.08 ERA. Over his last 2 starts, he's gone 10 2/3 innings, allowing 11 runs on 16 hits. He faced the Cubs for a first time in his career on June 24th, allowing 5 runs on 7 hits in 4 2/3 innings. The Cardinals won that game 8-7. It'll be Matthew Boyd on the mound for the Cubs tonight. He's 11-4 with a 2.34 ERA career against the Cardinals, 3-1, 1.29 ERA. 7:15 first pitch. That means our coverage gets underway at 6:20. For the St. Louis Cardinals Radio Network, I'm Matt Pauley.
Cards 3-4 this year against the Cubs. They split a 4-game series at Busch in June and dropped 2 of 3 against the Cubs at Wrigley Field over the July 4th weekend. St. Louis City also back. They're at home. They'll take on Nashville tomorrow night after some time away. They City 4-14-6. They sit in 14th in the West with just 18 points. Interim head coach David Critchley was asked about prepping for the game while still prepping for the future of the franchise.
I'll always want to work on that. I'll always want to work on the identity. I'll always want to work on what's best for, let's just call it, the sustainable success of the club. But we're still in a position where we want to fight for points every week, and a lot of our focus goes there against Nashville. So at least for the upcoming few games, I'll have 1 or 2 days where I focus on what we want to be and who we are, but I'll also have 1 or 2 days where I'm focusing on the opponent, what they might give, and then just adjusting to that.
Critchley, while realistic about where the club stands, also isn't ruling out the playoffs.
Yeah, while there's hope there, we will continue to live on hope and aspire to get there. We know we're in a difficult position in an uphill battle, but while it's mathematically possible, I won't rule it out. And it's just because I really believe in the group that's here. Now that we're all healthy and we have almost the utilization of everybody, it's a talented team. So there's always a chance. We know the chance is small, but while it's still possible, I'll still be hopeful.
Nashville sits in third in the Eastern Conference, and at plus 16, they've got one of the best goal differentials in the entire MLS. Kickoff tomorrow night is at 7:30. Pre-game coverage gets underway at 7:15 on our sister station, Y98. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-885-9700. 800-885-9700. That's 800-885-9700.
Looking for a place to call home without all the maintenance? Check out the Towns of Linneman Park, new townhomes by Lombardo, located in St. Peters. These new construction townhomes are located on the south side of 36494, east of Harvester Road, and offer floor plans featuring 2 to 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, a loft, and 2-car attached garages. Community amenities include a clubhouse, pool, pickleball courts, dog park, and walking trails. Tour our newly decorated display and fall in love with your new townhome. Visit lombardohomes.com for more information.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum, Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros. Just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Register by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
Now the news. At 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 7:50. Roger Brand is watching the Friday morning commute for us from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Scott, MoDOT says they're still blocking the right lane. I think they're on the right shoulder, though. This crash we've had for a while, westbound 70 west of Jennings Station. So if you're headed that way, just maybe steer clear of the right lane. But it's really hard for me from my vantage point through the trees to see if it's blocked or not. Traffic is backed up, though, at Riverview, and I still can't tell what lane's blocked. I don't have any information from MoDOT. This crash westbound 70 before Lake St. Louis Boulevard, but traffic is at a standstill now about midway between K and Bryan Road on westbound 70. Fortunately, it's not bothering eastbound 70 drivers at all. They're cruising through the area. The eastbound 70 traffic just a bit slow at the 270 overpass. Eastbound 64 is a little slow, 170 into Big Bend. Westbound 64, Clayton Skinker to Big Bend's a little crowded. Eastbound 30, some heavier traffic. West Watson to 270. Still have that little bit of a jam. Southbound 55, south of Highway M. An incident there. Northbound 55, Bayless up to River to Pears, slow. Eastbound 44 from Park into the Arch Grounds is heavy. We had an incident there earlier. And westbound 64, west of Route 4, about midway into 158, slow in that emergency repair zone. Next update at 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And checking the forecast, sunny, hot, humid this afternoon, a high 96. It'll be humid overnight with a low of 76. And more of the same tomorrow, hot, humid, sunshine, a high of 95. We have sunny skies, 76 degrees downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 7:52.
Next time somebody says St. Louis, what's St. Louis got?
And it's that time of week when Scott Jago gives us clues, and we'll see if we can figure out where he has been roaming St. Louis. Joe Pott sitting in with us as well to help me guess, because I never get these.
Neither do I. That's all right.
I think this one's pretty easy and fun if you know that this place exists. We'll get to the specifics here in a minute, but let me start with this clue, which is very weird. I wonder what that is.
That doesn't help anybody.
No, it doesn't help anybody. It's just a good piece of sound.
Started in Croatia in 2015. We were the 49th museum open. We have 61 museums completely throughout the whole world. So we're opening them as fast as we can get them up in the United States, and we're just trying to keep this brand growing around the world.
Okay. So it started in Croatia.
A museum franchise.
Interesting. And it's worldwide. So there's a little clue there.
Okay.
Started in Croatia in 2015. We've had people come in and they don't look like they're going to have fun. Before they get through the first or second exhibit, they're already having fun. And before they get to the end of it, they can't wait to come back again the next time. So yeah, it's catered to kids, a lot of it. We're affiliated with STEM.org, and we actually have field trips, groups, teachers come in all the time here to see what we have to offer.
STEM.
I think I know what it is, but I can't remember the name of it.
Okay, we'll maybe it'll come to you, but I still got two more clues. Joe, any thoughts?
No, none yet.
Yeah, involve kids,
children,
and
STEM. Okay,
so it's got some learning involved.
Okay,
this might help.
The Ames Room is where you can grow and shrink right in front of someone. You can stand in one corner and you can be tall, and you're in the other corner and you're very, very small. But the one that always get everybody going is when you get to the dark room, we have that vortex tunnel. And it seems like the whole room is spinning around, but in all actuality, the curtain is the only one that's spinning, and everything else is all up in your brain, and it's making you feel like the whole thing is spinning around in one big circle.
I think I know.
Okay.
Is it the Museum of Illusions?
It is.
Yay, I got one.
Very nice. Yay. Well done.
So it is the Museum of Illusions. Good job, Megan. And it's in City Foundry. It's been there for about a year and a half. They have about 50 exhibits. It's very fun. If you get disoriented easily, maybe stay away from certain exhibits, but there's plenty in there that doesn't make you dizzy. The Boucher chair he's talking about is a flat piece of wood, and if you go sit on it, it looks like you're in a chair. It doesn't look like a chair. So there's one thing, and it looks like you're a tiny person in a big chair. The other one, the vortex thing, I could not go through this. I've been to the Museum of Illusions before. So it looks like a swinging bridge. It's not moving at all. The curtain next to it is moving, but it makes it seem like it's swinging. You step out onto it, it looks like the whole room is going upside down.
That's all it took for you.
So, yeah, that's it. I stepped out one step, back, I was done. It's a fun place to go. Museum of Illusions.
We've only got a few more days before school starts for a lot of kids, so maybe people can add that to
something to do, right?
And actually, they have a family deal this month until school starts. You can get 2 tickets for adults, 2 for kids, and it's cheaper, and they got all this stuff included. So
get out of the heat.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's another good idea.
So when can we hear it?
Roaming St. Louis is 8:20 and 9:20 on Sunday morning. Total Information AM Sunday.
There's been a lot of talk about tariffs, how it's going to do this and it's going to destroy the economy, prices are going to go up. Depending where you get your news from or your information from, it's going to make everything unaffordable and so on and so forth. Tariffs have absolutely zero effect on the heating and cooling equipment that we purchase. So don't be misled and fooled that if you're told that you have to buy something now because of tariffs, call me. That's the nicest thing I can say. Call me for a second opinion. Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. There's only one. If you do not dial this number, it will be the wrong number. It is area code 314-293-2600. Again, easiest number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600, or on the computer, bartinman.com. Remember, 0% financing is available for most up to 60 months. Fantastic.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-969-0686 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. Did you know that McKelvey builds custom homes on individual sites throughout the metropolitan area? We have sites in prime locations from Rock Hill to Wildwood, including several in the coveted Ladue School District. Experience why many have chosen McKelvey Homes with our legendary quality and personalized service to build their dream home. Visit our newly completed Turnberry at 19 Beaver Drive, just north of Ladue and east of Lindbergh. It is loaded with features and now open. Visit McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
Your home for St. Louis Cardinals baseball. 104.1 FM. KMOX.
At 7:58, an update on the roads from Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, I'm still seeing delays on Highway 70. We've still got these incidents, Scott, on westbound Highway 70. You've got heavy traffic, not a solid jam, but it's backed up from Riverview out to Jennings Station where that crash was either on the right lane or right shoulder. It looks like they cleared the crash westbound 70 before Lake St. Louis Boulevard, but traffic is still pretty slow westbound 70 from K through Bryan Road, and then it's opening up. Westbound 64 Clayton Skinker to Big Bend, slow. Eastbound 64 just a little busy at the Interbelt. Eastbound 44 Park up to the Arch Grounds. You've got delays. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
This is Friday, August 8th. I'm Megan Lynch, and these are the stories making news. We're going to have more details on yesterday's helicopter crash that claimed 2 lives in Alton.
I'm Scott Jagow. St. Louis County's new prosecuting attorney is already campaigning to keep her seat. We'll hear more from Melissa Price-Smith as she talks with Rachel Zimmerman.
A new wildfire erupts north of Los Angeles. That's prompting an evacuation order.
Israel's security cabinet approves a plan for its military to take control of Gaza City.
And President Trump says he's willing to meet with Vladimir Putin even if Ukraine's leader is not present.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Plenty of sunshine today, hot and humid this afternoon, high 96.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Israel's cabinet has approved a plan for the military to take control of Gaza City. Talia Saltzman lives in Tel Aviv.
Unless we can get rid of all of Hamas in one go, just think that the hostages need to be top priority, and then we need to stop all of our soldiers from dying.
Hamas has issued a statement seizing control of Gaza City would amount to sacrificing the hostages. Correspondent Deborah Patta reports from Jerusalem.
Gaza is still under constant Israeli bombardment and in the grip of a catastrophic hunger crisis. We're being tested beyond human limits, said Raed Mohammed. Israel isn't killing Hamas, it's killing civilians, children, women.
Prime Minister Netanyahu says aid deliveries to non-combat zones will continue. This is the day President Trump set as the deadline for Russia to reach a ceasefire agreement with Ukraine. There's no indication that's happened and no word on any consequences, but talk of a Trump-Putin summit continues. Former U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine, William Taylor.
At some point it is likely to happen. It's really Putin that wants this meeting. Putin is the one who is so eager to get together with President Trump.
Thousands of people have been evacuated from their homes north of Los Angeles after a brand new wildfire chewed through almost 5,000 acres in a single day. CBS News LA's Lauren Posen is in Castaic.
A fast-moving brush fire exploded on one of the hottest days of summer.
I got the notification on my phone.
Came home, I thought, fires pop up all the time, not a big deal. By the time we got home, the cloud of smoke was coming right over our property.
People who aren't under mandatory evacuation orders are staying on standby, some waiting it out in their cars.
Forecast calls for another dry, hot day there. People are bracing for a 111-degree day in Phoenix, which is actually a little cooler than yesterday's high of 118. That was a record breaker for August. Fire Captain DJ Lee says people there need to remember,
even if you're in the best shape, heat does not care. It will affect everybody.
Some cancer patients in England are reporting miraculous results using the mRNA technology the U.S. has just stopped funding.
This patient has been pronounced cancer-free 2 years after he was told his case was hopeless.
It gave me a future. It gave me hope, and I am living my best life now.
The trial's now being expanded across the National Health Service in England using mRNA technology to retrain each patient's immune system.
Dow futures are up 71. This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
At 8:03, we have sunny skies, 76 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Friday, August 8th. The news sponsored by St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station. I'm Megan Lynch. With his final term in the state Senate coming to a close, State Senator Brian Williams announcing his future political plans.
Williams will run for St. Louis County Executive on the Democratic ticket, presumably challenging incumbent Sam Page. Williams shares with KMOX his priorities for the office.
Public safety is a primary one, building our workforce for tomorrow, creating opportunities for government to work efficiently, and most importantly, show a level of leadership where people trust me and know that we can all work together to achieve goals.
Asked about Sam Page's recent indictment, Williams said he has no opinion and is confident the process will work itself out. The primary election is about a year from now. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
And you can hear Sean's full interview with Senator Williams coming up in just moments here on KMOX.
How does KMOX Democratic political analyst Michael Kelly shape up this race?
Obviously, there's been a lot of strife in St. Louis County, and I think that it's been frustrating to many people who remember the glory days of go along, get along, and St. Louis County did well as a result of that. That's not the case right now on the county council. So I would suspect you're going to hear a lot of from Senator Williams talking about the fact that he would be a county executive who could get along with people and find ways to get to compromise.
Kelly says this race could either be short and simple or long and intense. He says it depends on whether Williams can peel off Page support and if Page can maintain his fundraising prowess. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
2 people died after a helicopter crashed into a barge on the Mississippi River near Alton, Illinois yesterday. An Ameren contractor and subcontractor were in that helicopter trying to work on power lines when the accident happened. It reportedly hit one of the lines, causing it to catch fire and crash. Adam Briggs tells KMOX he was fishing and watching the chopper do its work when it happened.
I was out here watching the helicopter. He made several trips back and forth across the river. Looks like they were doing maintenance on the high tension lines there. The last trip, he had a worker on the side of the helicopter with one of the high-vis balls. They paused at the high tension line directly above that barge and looked like they were attempting to place that new ball in place. I dropped my head for a couple of seconds and heard a loud explosion and looked up and saw the helicopter fall into the barge and burst into flames.
Briggs says he called 911 when he realized what had happened. A 16-year-old boy behind bars after police say he carjacked 2 rideshare drivers at gunpoint within 48 hours. The first incident happened Tuesday in North City. That teen and 3 others involved released to their parents the next day. Then Thursday, police say that 16-year-old carjacked another rideshare driver in North St. Louis. The other teens involved in the incident still on the run. St. Louis police looking for the owner of 3 dogs that attacked a man walking at Forest Park. The victim says the owner was playing with his dogs off leash Wednesday night when they ran up and bit him in the legs and arm. According to investigators, after the attack, the dog's owner packed them up in his car and drove off. With school starting again soon, students in Missouri will have to leave phones in book bags.
Senate Bill 68, signed by Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe, bans the use of cell phones during school hours, including lunchtime. Bill sponsor State Senator Mike Henderson.
Cape Central did this over a year ago, and I talked to their superintendent. He said, "It's great. My cafeteria is loud." I said, "Was that good?" And he said, Yeah, that's a good thing. He said the kids are actually talking to each other instead of sitting at the table and texting each other.
There are some exceptions for emergencies and for instructional purposes in class. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
Southern China is in the midst of battling a big outbreak of a Missouri-born illness. Could the virus come here? KMOX health editor Fred Bottomer reports.
It's called chikungunya, a painful and debilitating disease most often seen in the tropics, but also in Central and South America and now China. St. Louis University infectious diseases specialist Dr. Sarah George.
It's transmitted by the bite of an infected mosquito, but the problem is that people who get the disease are infectious then to mosquitoes. So if a mosquito bites them while they have the disease, and then that mosquito bites another person, the mosquito will then transmit the disease, the virus.
Theoretically, Dr. George says chikungunya could end up in St. Louis, but again, it would have to come from someone who was bitten by an infected mosquito in China, then rebitten by a mosquito here, who would then have to bite someone else here to give them the virus. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
Coming off a series win against the first-place Dodgers, the St. Louis Cardinals back home to begin a weekend series with the Chicago Cubs. First pitch 7:15 tonight here on KMOX. We'll check traffic and weather in 2 minutes. It's 8:08.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
1 in 4 people surveyed by Bankrate.com say they're literally losing sleep because of worries that they may have not saved enough to retire. If you're ready to get serious about planning for your financial future, you could start by listening to the All Financial Hour with host Steve All of the All Financial Group.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different. If you want assistance, we can also help you at that point.
Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson, paid for by Action Matters. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Attention parents of children who have used the gaming platform known as Roblox. If your child was a victim of sexual abuse or harm of any kind while using the Roblox platform, you may be entitled to compensation. Roblox is facing multiple high-profile lawsuits, including an ongoing class action, alleging it failed to protect users from foreseeable dangers that led to the grooming, exploitation, and sexual abuse of minors on the platform. Claims allege Roblox turned a blind eye to predators, unsafe games, and deceptive monetization practices that targeted children. Victims were contacted through in-game chats and coerced into private conversations on third-party apps. If you believe your child may have been a victim of grooming, sexual abuse, or harm of any kind while using the Roblox platform, you may be entitled to a cash settlement. Text our helpline now to find out if you have a viable compensation claim against Roblox. Text GONE to 32 32 32. That's GONE to 32 32 32. GONE to 32 32 32.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Now the news. At 1, the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
8:10. Let's get a check of the roads now with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we've had a few issues out there this morning, Megan. Oddly enough, on a Friday, normally we don't have problems, but this morning we did. Now, they cleared that crash westbound 70 at Jennings Station, also the one before Lake St. Louis Boulevard, so everything's on the roll. Both stretches there, westbound 70 and eastbound 70, has never been an issue. Eastbound 64 and westbound 64, just a little slowdown at the interbelt. Still seeing a little bit of a backup. Crash southbound 55 north of Highway Z. The jam goes back south of M, so that's getting a little worse there. North 55, though, A, they're not slowing down for a look at it, and B, there's no delays in the construction zones at McNutter north of Bayless. Eastbound 44, I'm still seeing slow going from Park Avenue into the Arch Grounds. We had an earlier incident there. It remains busy at that point. Westbound 64 is still a little bit of a delay just west of Route 4. Again, that's emergency repair work. I thought it was supposed to be wrapped up yesterday afternoon, but obviously they had to extend that a bit, so look for a little bit of a busy stretch there. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
The heat wave continues into Monday. AccuWeather real fuel temperature will be at or just over 100 through Monday. We'll see sunshine today with a hot, humid afternoon high of 96. Then moonlit and sticky tonight, though 76. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine, hot and humid high 95. For Sunday, a mix of sun and clouds, hot and humid high 94. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
We have sunny skies, 78 degrees in Florissant, 75 in St. Peters, and 76 downtown at the Arch. This is Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. Missouri Senator Brian Williams says he wants his next job to be St. Louis County executive. Williams has announced a run for the office in the Democratic primary in 2026. KMOX's Sean Malone asked him about his campaign and platform.
Well, first, I've truly enjoyed being a state senator. And in that capacity, I've been able to not only work with people from various backgrounds, but all over the state to bring resources back to the St. Louis region. And I've been proud to secure millions of dollars in funding towards transformative projects that have helped St. Louis County go to the next level. And it was just a natural progression to clearly have an opportunity to come back home and continue that work.
How do you think your experience in Jefferson City prepares you for a more localized position, county executive in St. Louis County?
Well, I think as a leader, I've always focused on how do we find solutions, and St. Louis makes up 45% of the GDP, meaning the St. Louis region drives the economy for the entire state. So in Jefferson City, I'm making that case to my colleagues all over the state, Democrat and Republican, on why we should invest in the St. Louis region and why we should invest in St. Louis County. So bringing that attitude not only home and working with a council that's laser focused only on St. Louis County, but also bringing regional leaders from the city and surrounding counties together to ultimately make a case on why our region, starting with St. Louis County, should thrive and be a place that people want to eat, sleep, and work.
What policies do you want to bring to St. Louis County?
Well, it's simple. Public safety is a primary one. Building our workforce for tomorrow, creating opportunities for government to work efficiently, and most importantly, show a level of leadership where people trust me and know that we can all work together to achieve goals to ultimately benefit St. Louis County residents.
What about the cohesiveness within the county? It seems like all the time whenever we're doing stories about St. Louis County, it's not as often about legislation that gets passed or things getting accomplished. It's about the drama and the fight of the week, if you will.
Well, again, I think about everyday St. Louis residents. They get up and they work with people they may or may not like every single day. And if they don't do their job at a high level, guess what? They get fired. And I don't think politics or government's any different. I look forward to coming and working with the entire council to find results for the entire county and make sure everyone in this county feels seen and heard. And I've done it as a state senator. We've secured money to demolish Jamestown Mall, working with St. Louis County leaders. We've worked to secure $23 million for a public safety regional intelligence facility, working with St. Louis County leaders. We've also, my office has been able to secure money to get an engineering program for the University of Missouri St. Louis. $40 million to create the campus of the future, which would be an innovation district right in St. Louis County to create a healthcare patient facility, a grocery store anchor, and a food desert. And many other programs that we've been able to do, securing money that came right back here to St. Louis County. And I've worked with every member in some capacity of that council to get those things done, and I plan to continue to do that.
I want to ask you about a couple different topics that have been jammed up by infighting or other reasons within St. Louis County as to why there's been no real answer of what the future looks like. One of them is the budget. The county council has been working hard to try to balance the budget over the last couple of years. What's your solution? How should St. Louis County balance the budget?
Well, I've been a member of the Senate Appropriations Committee now for 7 years, since my second year in the Senate, pretty much. I've balanced the budget every single year, have kept our state out of a deficit, understand exactly how to invest in the right projects and spend our money appropriately based on the needs of taxpayers. And I plan to bring that same perspective to St. Louis County government. The deficit does concern me tremendously, and there's going to have to be some tough decisions made. And one thing I plan to do is sit with the council, hire really smart people and work with smart people that are already there to figure out how we bring our county to a place that we're balancing a budget and we're moving more into a positive revenue and not a negative.
There was some talks previously about a use tax. Would that or any other kind of new or an increase in taxes be something you would consider?
Well, I think I need to assess that, and I'm not fully sure what the implications are going to be on St. Louis County residents. So I don't want to make a decision either way on whether or not there should be a tax. But I do think that we should be providing as much relief for those in the county that need it. And that's why I was proud to co-sponsor the senior property tax relief bill, because that allows seniors and people on fixed incomes to be able to stay in their homes. I think the property taxes in St. Louis County are extremely high, and we've seen people almost get phased out of their homes to where they can't afford to be there. So I'm not sure if I'm leaning more towards applying taxes, but clearly I have to assess it and figure out what makes sense for the region and the county.
What about the county headquarters? They're going to be out of compliance with the fire code in Clayton in a few years when it updates. County executive page has previously pushed for a new county headquarters to be built. Council members of the council have pushed for just retrofitting the current building. Do you have any opinion on that, on what that future is for the county headquarters?
Well, we'll look and talk to smart people. I built a career outside of my legislative duties working in the construction and design business. And I've worked around really smart people that understand how development projects work, how construction, whether or not you should retrofit a building or demolish it completely. I plan on leaning on smart people to help us figure out what's best. And I don't have those details, but I can tell you this. There is nothing in the charter that says outside of the council that buildings have to be in the city of Clayton. I mean, we can look at alternative parts of St. Louis County that's maybe more affordable and maybe even more conducive to employee safety and well-being.
You'd be open to moving outside of Clayton?
I would be open to making decisions that I think is beneficial to St. Louis County residents' dollars. And I do not think that we should be spending money that we don't have on a building without looking at alternatives.
And obviously, this is a bit of a rare primary challenge because it's challenging an incumbent. County Executive Sam Page, all indications seem to be at this time he will be running for re-election. Why challenge a Democratic incumbent? Why are you making the decision to come out and basically say, I think I'm better fit for the job than the person in my party who currently has it?
Well, I can tell you one thing. This is not about the incumbent. This is not about anything else other than the fact that I have a proven record of bringing bold ideas to fruition. And I'm looking forward to making the case to voters in August to help take our region to the next level. And I feel very confident with my record and my ability to work with people and bring them together. Voters would enjoy that and resonate in the fact of supporting me next year.
Do you have any thoughts on his recent indictment or some of the other issues that we've seen arise of late?
No, I don't have any opinion about it. I think that's a process that has to work out itself, and I'm confident that it will figure itself out. But meanwhile, I'm laser focused on getting in front of voters and making the case for August 2026.
That's our Sean Malone with Missouri Senator Brian Williams. He is unable to run for his own Senate seat again since Missouri senators are limited to 2 4-year terms. Still ahead on Total Information AM, Rachel Zimmerman talks with St. Louis County Prosecutor Melissa Price-Smith. She'll preview the Rachel Zimmerman show coming up this weekend. And then at 8:31, we go to Chicago. I'll talk with Bernie Tafoya, a reporter at WBBM. Of course, there have been a lot of Texas Democrats holed up in Chicago right now trying to avoid that redistricting vote that would give more seats to Republicans. We'll get the latest on that situation. First, though, let's get a check of the roads with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, still have a few slowdowns out there, Megan, but it's not terrible. This traffic reports the service of the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. Westbound 64 still has delays. West of Route 4 about midway into 158. I also see a little bit of a slowdown approaching 159, and eastbound 64 across the Poplar Street Bridge over to Barack Obama Avenue is heavy. Eastbound 44 approaching the Poplar into the Arch Grounds, that's still slow. Southbound 55 is improving. I'd still call it busy from Z down through McNutt, just a slowdown, not a jam like we had earlier when we had that crash out there. It looks like we have an incident eastbound 64 east of Winghaven, a bit of a jam up as you get into that particular stretch. Otherwise, the other highways are looking good. Chances are you have a lot of people who depend on you, your family, maybe even employees. Life insurance from Penn Mutual can provide you peace of mind and protect the most important people in your life. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sunny, hot, and humid this afternoon, a high 96, but it could feel like it's over 100. Sticky tonight with clear skies, a low of 76. Right now, we do have sunny skies, 76 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros. Just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Register by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
Cardinal Cowboy here. After proving the doctors wrong following my accident, I got back to baseball, started kicking field goals, and finally got paid as a pro kicker and ultimately became a leader in the marketing world. That's why I trust Renner Garage Door, exceeding expectations for over 65 years. They service, sell, and install top brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster. Get your free quote today. Check them out at RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-311-9595. That's 800-311-9595.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 13th. An accredited state university, University of Maryland Global Campus, offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits towards a master's. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
You're back with Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch. St. Louis County's prosecuting attorney recently announced she'll campaign to be elected to the seat just months after being appointed to the post. KMOX's Rachel Zimmerman sat down with Melissa Price-Smith.
When you first got into law school, I'm sure you fantasize about what your career is going to be like, what you're going to do. Did you ever picture yourself as the St. Louis County prosecuting attorney?
Absolutely not. Somebody actually said to me recently, actually in an angry tone, "You just got what you always wanted." And my response was, actually, I never wanted this. Like I said, when Wesley went to Congress, I was looking around to see who our boss would be. I stepped up for this position when I knew the office needed me. The office needed someone with experience. The office needed someone who had worked in every area of the office, who knew what needed to be done, who knew what didn't work, and what changes need to be made. I stepped up because of that, not because I had aspirations to be in this seat for years or even months. I stepped up when I realized what was needed, and I did it with the support of my colleagues and the encouragement, and that's why I had the strength and confidence to do it, because we all knew what the office needed.
I know that the former governor, Mike Parson, selected you for this position. Why do you think he thought you would be the right person for the job? And then second part of the question, what's your relationship like now with our current governor, Mike Kehoe?
Rachel, I'm a Democrat. I am also pro-law enforcement, but I also hold a lot of Democratic views. But I know we need a strong prosecutor's office. I know we need to respect and support our police. When I met with Governor Parson, obviously he was a Republican, and I walked into his office, and, before I met with him, there were a lot of people coming out of the woodwork giving me advice, say this, don't say that, and my response has always been, no, I'm actually going to show up as myself. Before Governor Parson even sat down, he walked up to me and said, "Don't tell me what political party you are," and I would never ask. I want to know what kind of prosecutor you're going to be. And we then had a great conversation about what the prosecutor's office needed. And I think he realized how much I care and how much knowledge I have and the goals I had and have achieved many of them so far with the prosecutor's office. In answer to your question about Governor Kehoe, I have met with him a couple times regarding making St. Louis County safer, regarding law enforcement. I have the utmost respect for the work he's doing to fight crime and to make St. Louis County safer. And I'm working in partnership with him to do that. I have the utmost respect for him. You know, I don't believe a prosecutor's office should be political at all. I'm a prosecutor. I'm not a politician. And I am willing to work with anybody to make St. Louis County safer. And Governor Kehoe has those views. Governor Parson had those views. Democrat or Republican, you know what? We're just trying to make St. Louis County safer. It doesn't matter that we have, different letters after our names.
You can hear the full interview on The Rachel Zimmerman Show this Saturday at 2 p.m. or Sunday at 1 p.m. here on KMOX. Still ahead on Total Information AM, the FBI has been asked to get involved in rounding up some rogue Democrats who fled Texas to avoid a redistricting battle. We're going to get the latest from Chicago because that's where some of those Democrats are at. That's coming up in just a few minutes here on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Since we have lawyers in all 50 states, I see and hear lots of lawyer ads. It seems that most are bragging on what they got their clients. But be careful. If you heard that someone sold their car for $500,000, you would be impressed. But if you later learned that it was a rare $10 million Ferrari, would you say that person got screwed? And that's before you even know if it's true. Who is fact-checking? And how much went to medical bills and lawyers' fees? If you want to get an idea what your case may be really worth, visit forthepeople.com and go to Settlements and Verdicts. You will see what a law firm like ours is capable of. And fact check for yourself. All that glitters is not gold. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. We won big, a lot. At Morgan & Morgan, we represent consumers. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Summer is here, and it's time to plan your style staycation with Bob's Discount Furniture, where you can find everyday low prices on the hottest styles. The comfiest Consumer Reports recommended mattresses, fast, friendly delivery, and flexible financing to fit your budget. Go to mybobs.com for details. So stock up and score everyday low prices, delivered on time all summer long at your nearest store or at mybobs.com.
Oh, my Bob! Bob's Discount Furniture.
Hey Illinois, this is Ben Barnett, board certified master arborist and owner at Timberline Professional Tree Care. Sorry St. Louis, this message is for our friends in the Metro East. Did you know that most Missouri-based tree contractors can't legally travel into Illinois? This is due to federal motor carrier regulations that require large trucks and their drivers to be registered with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration in order to travel across state lines. Almost all other tree services in Missouri fail to meet the requirements for safety, drug and alcohol testing, and equipment maintenance that are required for interstate travel. Here at Timberline, we meet and exceed all of these requirements and will be glad to travel across the river to meet all of your tree care needs. Call us today at 636-479-7475 for tree fertilization, pruning, insect and disease treatment, or complete removal. Or visit our website at stltreecare.com. That's stltreecare.com for service in the Metro East area.
8:30, it's been a little bit of an unusual Friday morning because we have had a few problems out there on the roads. Let's get an update from Roger Brand now. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, and they're still working the one out there on eastbound 64 right now, Megan. This traffic reports a service at Jack in the Box. It's a crash in the right lane, eastbound 64, about midway between Winghaven and Highway K. Only left lane's open, obviously, because there's only 2 lanes there on 64, so eastbound 64 is jammed, approaching Winghaven, again, midway into Highway K. It looks like we have crashes possibly in both directions on Manchester at Baxter. Eastbound has the biggest backup. It's backed up about midway to Reese on eastbound Manchester. Westbound, not quite as bad there. Downtown, eastbound 44, still a little heavy, just past the Poplar Street Bridge. Westbound 64 west of Route 4. Looks like we still have roadwork delays at that point. Otherwise, the rest of these area highways really aren't looking bad. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Brought to you by Jack in the Box.
Spending 2 hours staring at the back of someone's bumper isn't the best way to end your day. So Jack in the Box is giving you a bonus with their new Bonus Jack Combo. Fries, a drink, and a burger with your choice of 1, 2, or 3 patties starting at just $4.49. Get so much more.
The latest heat wave is going to extend through the weekend into Monday. That means we could have real field temperatures at or over 100 through the weekend. Plenty of sunshine today. Hot and humid this afternoon. Expect a high of 96. Right now we have sunny skies, 76 degrees downtown at the Arch. Thanks for listening to Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch. The FBI now apparently has agreed to cooperate with Texas officials to find 50 Democratic lawmakers who fled the state to stall a vote on redistricting. Republicans there redrawing congressional maps, trying to give their party 5 more seats in Congress. Many of those Texas Dems fled to Illinois, and we wanted to find out what's happening in Chicago, where many are staying. We check in now with our Odyssey sister station, WBBM, and reporter Bernie Tafoya. Bernie, thanks so much for your time this morning.
You're welcome, Megan.
So those Democrats are still there in Chicago?
Chicago area. They are supposedly in a hotel in the suburbs. They've been there for a while, and they will be there as long as it takes, apparently, and that could be days, weeks, maybe even months, they say.
Any statement from Governor Pritzker on this latest news that the FBI may be getting involved in rounding up those Democratic leaders?
He has not put out a statement, but he had said in the past that Illinois would fight any attempt to return them, the Texas Democrats, to Texas. So my guess is that this could wind up in the courts at some point. That's kind of the logical step in some of these things. So the question also is, what happens once the FBI does find the Texas Democrats? Because it's not too hard to find them, is my guess. Somebody found them just the other morning when they had a bogus bomb threat at the hotel they were staying at.
What are political leaders on both sides of the aisle in Illinois saying about the fact that the Chicago area and Illinois is kind of now has a bullseye on it because of what's happening here?
I don't know. I've not had any contact with either legislators or politicians on the Republican side, Democratic side, so I don't really know what they're thinking on that issue.
What authority would the FBI have in Illinois?
Well, that's a good question, and I think that's why it may wind up in the courts. They may be able to do as they've agreed to at least find the Texas Democrats. But the question is, what happens once they find them? Will they apprehend them? Will they just point them out to the Texas officials and then hope that the Texas officials can get Illinois law enforcement to arrest them or at least take them into custody? The Texas Attorney General, I believe, has gone to court in Illinois yesterday in Adams County, which is in Quincy, to try to get the law enforcement here to be ordered to be able to pick them up.
I know we had some incidents with those Texas Democrats and some threats that were made against them. Has that quieted down, Bernie?
We haven't heard anything since then. That was the only incident, that bomb threat the other morning, where they were forced out of their hotel. Actually, everybody in the hotel was forced out, not just the Texas Democrats.
All right. That's Bernie Tafoya with WBBM, our sister station up in Chicago. Really appreciate you taking time to join us this morning.
You're welcome. Take care.
Coming up on Total Information AM, we've got your money report and, of course, Hancock Kelly coming up in just a minute.
When my business was taking off, our old phone system just wasn't cutting it. We needed fewer missed calls, more flexibility, and better visibility into customer conversations. That's when I found OpenPhone.
OpenPhone is the all-in-one system for small businesses and growing teams. Manage multiple numbers from one device, work seamlessly as a team with shared numbers, and stay organized with AI-powered call transcripts, summaries, and next steps, so nothing gets missed and your team responds faster. OpenPhone integrates with tools you already use, like Slack, HubSpot, and Zapier, so everything's connected and efficient.
Having tried just about every relevant small business phone system, OpenPhone is truly in a league of its own. It's now essential to how we run our business, and I couldn't be happier with the value it brings.
See why over 60,000 businesses trust OpenPhone. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
8:36, time for your money report, sponsored by Eamon Gatner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Kimberly Adams.
Good morning. President Trump plans to nominate Stephen Miron, the chair of his White House Council of Economic Advisors, to fill a Federal Reserve slot on a temporary basis. Miron will complete the term of Federal Governor Adriana Kugler, which runs through January. Kugler decided to leave her post early. The president says he'll be searching for a permanent replacement in the coming months. General Motors is importing batteries from China to power a new low-cost electric vehicle, despite tariffs. The company plans to begin production of an entry-level Chevy Bolt later this year. The car will be built in Kansas City, Kansas. GM says it will eventually switch over to American-made batteries through its partnership with LG Energy. The Thursday session on Wall Street didn't live up to its early promise. Stocks ended mixed. The Nasdaq gained 0.33%, but the Dow fell 0.5%, and the S&P 500 closed 0.1% lower. With your Bloomberg Money Report, I'm Kimberly Adams on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hello, fellow Missourians. This is your Congressman Bob Onder. My top priority is serving you. Whether you need help with a VA claim, Social Security, Medicare, or any other federal issue, my team and I are here to cut through the red tape and give you answers. In the last 6 months alone, we have returned over $1 million to taxpayers. Call my office or visit my website, onder.house.gov, to learn more. Missouri is my home, and I'm honored to serve you in D.C.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Looking for a place to call home without all the maintenance? Check out the Towns of Linneman Park, new townhomes by Lombardo, located in St. Peters. These new construction townhomes are located on the south side of 36494, east of Harvester Road, and offer floor plans featuring 2 to 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, a loft, and 2-car attached garages. Community amenities include a clubhouse, pool, pickleball courts, dog park, and walking trails. Tour our newly decorated display and fall in love with your new townhome. Visit lombardohomes.com for more information.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, haven't practiced in a long time, but I did plaintiff's work and defense work, so I have a pretty good understanding of it. I have a pretty good idea of who's who in the firmament of plaintiffs' attorneys. And for my money, Mark Cantor is the guy. He's a great attorney. He is a great practitioner. He's put together a great team. He was born and raised here. He lives here. He works here. He wins here. Call 314-628-ALL-9s or CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based on advertising.
We have sunny skies, 76 degrees now at 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. President Donald Trump has summoned reporters to the Oval Office to present charts that he says shows the economy's solid. It follows a recent jobs report that raised concerns and led to the firing of the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz says Germany will not authorize exports of military equipment that could be used in Gaza until further notice. Coming up on KMOX, it's Hancock and Kelly. First, though, let's get a check of the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, they're still working with this injury crash on eastbound 64 about midway between Winghaven and Highway K. The right lane remains closed. Only the left lane is open. Traffic is jammed back almost to 364 now on eastbound Highway 64. Downtown, eastbound 44, still some heavy traffic past the Poplar. A little bit of a roadwork slowdown. Westbound 64 passing Route 4. And we still have crashes, it looks like, both directions on Manchester at Baxter. Eastbound's backed up about midway back to Reese Road. Westbound Manchester is jamming now, approaching 141, but the rest of the area highways are looking good for you right now. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Time for the Friday edition of Hancock and Kelly.
You two belong together.
John Hancock, Michael Kelly on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Happy Friday, John Hancock.
Back at you, big boy. It is Friday, and I'm happy to see it.
It is. I'm happy to see you. And boy, lots happening locally.
Yeah.
Yesterday, you were sitting in down the hall, weren't you?
Yeah, I was on the other station filling in for Mark Reardon.
Right.
And I interviewed this guy.
Yeah, you had the state senator, Brian Williams, on, who announced yesterday he's going to be running against Sam Page.
Long anticipated.
Yeah, it's been talked about for quite some time. Sam Page is kind of finds himself in a spot right now, John, where...
Well, he's been indicted.
Well, he's been
That's
indicted, and he's united the county council, both Democrats and Republicans, against him.
Yeah.
What was Brian's message yesterday on what he's going to run on?
He can work with people.
Get along?
Yeah, he can get along with folks. And that may be enough. It may be enough. I'm not convinced Page is going to run. I'm not even convinced Page is going to be the county executive at the time this next election rolls around. But we'll see.
Well, yesterday, Sam Page's spokesman had a statement in the paper, and it kind of said some reference to Brian Williams having a thin record of accomplishment, but he didn't really take a punch at him, which made me think, like you said, maybe Sam Page isn't going to run. This is probably one of the two most consequential races happening in the region in the next year, correct?
I couldn't tell you what the other one was. Well, I guess St. Charles County
St. Charles County executive is also up. And, I guess this is more of a sign of the times that we're living in. You and I talk about this all the time, John, but St. Louis County is a Democratic county. Like it, love it, hate it.
The last time a Republican was elected St. Louis County executive, want to hazard a guess when that was?
Prior to Buzz Westfall, I'm going to say 1986. 86?
That would be 39 years ago.
39 years ago.
And
wow.
The last time a Republican was elected mayor of the city of St. Louis, you want to hazard a guess?
1890.
1947.
Really?
1947.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Back after the war.
And the last time a Democrat was elected county executive of St. Charles was?
Never. Yeah. So, but that's interesting, right? Is that obviously all the national narrative is about what's going to happen with this pushback against Donald Trump, and will the Trumpers still hold on? But the reality is most of us aren't involved in Democrat versus Republican races. We're in primaries that are going to decide who runs government.
Yeah, and it's well over 60% of registered voters don't participate in primary elections anymore. So the 34, 5, 6% of the folks that show up in August in Missouri, other months in other states, they end up selecting the office holder, not the nominee. They select the office holder. And because the nominee of that party in that jurisdiction is going to win in November. It's just cut and dried. 80% of the time, whoever wins the primary in the party of power dominance in the area, they win. So, and the other phenomenon that's happening now, because people that do what we do have figured this out, is that the primary fields in these races tend to swell.
Mm-hmm.
You get 3, 4, 5, 6 candidates. So now, in a 5 or 6 way primary, somebody gets 30% of the vote. So they get 30% of the 16% who vote in that party's primary. They end up being elected to office by maybe 6% of the voters.
And maybe the best example of that is Eric Greitens, right? Everybody remember
Great
that
example.
name when we saw him. He was our governor for a cup of coffee. He was embroiled in that scandal. Perfect example of a guy who came into a 3 or 4 way primary on the Republican side.
Yep.
Went way far right. You remember some of his words. He was blowing things up, and
Gonna
the
throw 'em down the stairs.
going to throw people down the stairs. Then he goes to a general election where it doesn't matter. So he gets, less than a quarter of the Republican primary vote.
He did better than that, but he was in the low 30s.
And becomes the governor of one of the 50 states.
And that was a case where the Democrats actually had a funded, credible candidate, Chris Koster, the sitting attorney general. But, this is a red state, man.
Well, it has gone that way.
And it has become that way. It hasn't always been a red state, but today it is a red state. So when you win that party's primary for a statewide office, when you win the Republican primary for a statewide office, you're basically elected.
And personally, the way that you and I met each other, I was running the Democratic Party, you were running the Republican Party. It was an adversarial interaction. I mean, that was back in the days, and this wasn't ancient times. This was 20 years ago where we legitimately had races where a qualified Republican with resources and a qualified Democrat with resources were facing each other. John, in the coming year, I can't think, maybe there's going to be a state Senate race in Greene County or, over in western Jackson County, etc., that there's going to be a Democrat versus Republican, but almost all the consequential decisions in Missouri, and probably that, for that matter, in Illinois, will be made in the primary.
Yeah.
Not in November when everybody thinks they're going to vote to save the world.
Yeah, and that's just the way it has become. And that's why, if folks that pay attention and are concerned, and, you may not have a deep-seated affiliation with one of the political parties. Maybe you've been alienated by the direction of your political party. Plenty of Republicans in that boat, and there's plenty of Democrats in that boat that just feel disconnected. And so they don't show up in the primary. That's a mistake, because what you're doing is you're empowering the very things you dislike to make your choices for you of who your elected officials are going to be.
Maybe back after the break, we'll come back and talk a little bit about what's going on with the redistricting
Oh, man,
stuff,
if I got some thoughts on this.
Yeah, but before we go to break, I wanted to ask you, this year the Cardinals, not what they've been in the past, right? And you and I...
Pretty close to what they've been the last 2 years.
I find myself more than ever waiting for football season to start this year. I'm excited for football because... I don't know, baseball seems so anticlimactic, right?
Well, there's some good pennant races going on in both leagues.
You like this Brewers story?
So, I don't like the Brewers. But
I mean, no money, bunch of young folks
They have
it
found
together.
the secret sauce for developing pitching, and I think it's pretty much that simple. They also score a lot of runs without hitting homers. They're a little bit counter the direction baseball's going in that regard. But I think they've got, last time I looked, I think they had the best run differential in the league, the difference between the runs scored and the runs allowed. And they're not anywhere near the top of the pack in terms of home runs. So it's a very unique set of dynamics. I can't exactly explain it, but they do keep cranking out these good young pitching arms that they develop internally. And that's something, that's probably the single greatest difference between them and the Cardinals in recent history.
You know what's looming in the next year? Another contract negotiation between the owners and MLB.
Yeah, and
There's a good chance baseball may stop again.
I think it's more than zero.
Yeah, the owners want a salary cap like the other major leagues have.
Salary cap.
Yeah, well, the Yankees and the Dodgers don't, right? Yeah, but.
We'll see how that all plays out, but there's plenty of baseball between now and then to be played.
So we're going to step aside, take a check on the traffic with Captain Roger Brand, and we'll be back. No, we're not going to see Roger. There is no traffic.
No, there's no traffic. It's all good.
We'll be back after this on KMOX.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
You've got a ton of equity in your home. You're sitting on a gold mine, and you could do so much with all that cash, like travel, invest it, or pay off debt, but you can't touch it unless you sell your home. But you really don't want to move. And besides, homes are sitting on the market for a long time these days. You're trapped, right? Well, not with TrueHold. With TrueHold, you can cash out your equity in as little as 30 days. And listen, you don't have to move. You can stay in the home you love as a renter. So that's TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. You cash out your entire home's value and stay put. TrueHold even covers property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs. So imagine using that equity to travel, invest, or pay off debt and stay in your home. It's brilliant, especially in this slow market. You get an all-cash offer now by calling 1-855-300-9993. You can also visit TrueHold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Hello, I'm Missouri State Treasurer Vivek Malik. August 14th is National Able Savings Day, a time to highlight how able accounts empower individuals with disabilities. Our More Able program helps Missourians save for everyday needs without losing public benefits. To celebrate, we are offering a $25 match for anyone who opens a new account in August. Earnings grow tax-free and contributions qualify for a state tax reduction. Let's help more Missourians build financial independence. Learn more at moable.com.
Paid for by the Missouri State Treasurer's Office. The KMOX City SC Soccer Showcase, presented by Michelob Ultra. Thanks to Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill in Wentzville. Thursday, August 14th. A limited number of fans can get an autograph or a picture with City SC left back Jay Reed. Register to win great prizes. Enjoy great food and a cold drink. Hot Shots in Wentzville. The place to be Thursday, August 14th from 6 till 8 p.m. for the City SC Soccer Showcase, presented by Michelob Ultra. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
KMOX is now on 104.1 FM, the same great station with even better sound.
John, have you seen the proposal the president has? I don't know that it's a proposal. I think he may be moving forward with it. He's going to build a ballroom attached to the White House.
I did see that.
Have you? I had not seen a picture of the White House in a while, and this morning, and when you turn on the news, sometimes they go to commercial and show you a picture of the White. Have you seen this giant flagpole he's put right in the middle?
Two of them.
It looks like a car dealership now.
Well,
they got these flags the size of something they take to a football game.
What struck me is all the gold in the Oval Office now. It's on the doors, on the fireplace. And I'd been wondering for years, because we went into Iraq.
Right.
And, took out all of Saddam Hussein's palaces.
Yeah.
I always wondered what they did with all that stuff.
Brought
it's
it
in
to
the White House now.
Yeah. It's like when you tour the Vatican and you see, how do they have all this Egyptian artwork?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I get it. They stole it. Hey, speaking of stealing, a lot of people are alleging that the Republicans are trying to steal seats from the Democrats in Texas as it relates to moving forward with redistricting. President Trump's asked them to do that. Governor Abbott's trying to do it.
Yep.
The Democrats fled to Boston, Chicago, et cetera.
They're in Illinois.
Right here, our own state.
Gerrymandered state in the country.
Right here, our own state. Governor Kehoe has said that he's going to try to redistrict per instructions from Donald Trump, which got Gavin Newsom in New York and, of course, J.B. Pritzker all saying, well, we'll go back at it. What in the world are we doing? This is silly.
Well, it's silly, and I don't think the politics of it makes sense. Yeah, because when we're going into a cycle that historically is going to go against the Republican Party because they have the White House, the House, and the Senate, and it just those midterms are pretty brutal. So by redrawing all these districts and trying to maximize the number of Republican seats, they're actually maximizing the number of competitive seats.
Amen.
Because you've got to take these 60% Republican districts down to 53. And if you get a little bit of a wave going against you, you're going to lose some of those. And this thing could end up blowing up in our face. Here's the other problem. Governors have to govern, and they've got a majority in the legislature. Many do. Certainly Governor Kehoe does. But sometimes you need the other side. You'll recall the last special session we had, Governor Kehoe put together that support for the Kansas City stadium effort. Mm-hmm. That was a bipartisan vote.
Right.
When you do something so hyper-partisan as redrawing district lines in the middle of a decennial census, what you're also accomplishing there is you are absolutely crippling the legislature's ability to do anything.
Right.
And that's going to happen. What's happened in Texas. I mean, You get the Democrats going to Chicago. And it'll happen in California where Gavin Newsom's sometimes going to need some Republican support. And I don't think people fully appreciate the damage to the executive legislative relationships in these states by doing something that is so blanketly partisan.
Well, and I had not thought about it the way that you're saying, in that if you have a wave election, and look, history says the Democrats are going to do well in this upcoming election. Sure doesn't feel like it, because I don't know that they have a cohesive message or messenger, but history shows they're going to do well. If suddenly you do have a wave election, like we saw in 2008 around Barack Obama, and you have seats that or maybe tilt 2 or 3% towards the Republicans in a wave election where maybe people stay home. Wow,
well,
it could be a tsunami against the Republicans.
Factor. That's the other factor, is that the passion, the voting passion typically resides with the people who are out of power. And the people that are in, and you got this whole Epstein files thing going around. That's not going to be motivating for the Republican base, the way that's being handled. And so, the conditions are present. Can't predict a year out. But the conditions are present for this to be a pretty good Democrat cycle.
Crystal ball, do we wind up redrawing the lines, Missouri?
I think if it happens in Texas and it happens elsewhere, I think Missouri, I think Indiana, I think you'll see this happen a lot of places. We got to go. It's Chris and Amy next on KMOX.
Will St. Louis County Executive Sam Page have a challenger next year? Well, it's Friday, so we've got Hancock and Kelly to chat about it. Plus, former St. Louis Cardinal pitcher